Kamusta kababayan ko? All my sexy panoys and panay.
Welcome to Fogtown, where over 60% of the population is Filipino.
Can you confirm that the restaurant incident is the work of the so-called taquito man?
What? This is the taquito everyone is talking about? It's not a taquito.
It's lumpia, the Filipino egg roll.
The motives of the lumpia man are still unknown.
Lumpia man knows we're selling out of Fogtown High.
What I tell you about these kids?
Love that. Lumpia! And love that. Lumpia! And love.
Your sniper took down the mayor as planned.
My henchmen are trained to be 100% efficient.
Is that the egg roll man?
No, it ain't him.
Go, 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 go! Hey, you can't eat that. Remember me? You're my hero.
Now's not the time to change the plan.
What plan?
What the?
Please tell me you're a good guy.
It's too Filipino.
It's like soy sauce and salsa getting messy.
All merged together in harmony. Screw your mama's wedding. Fight the bully. You're all wrong. It's all because of this damn Lumpia man.
It took this long for me to find you. I'm not about to lose you, baby. You can be sure I love you forever.
No more! Fogtown will remember me! Taquito Boy!
Now I can see you. Now I can see you. Hey, welcome everyone. We are live with the Lumpia webcast. Welcome back. This is a special edition of our Lumpia watch party. Well, and this is our third edition of our Lumpia live webcast. It's awesome. I do want to start off on a sad note today. One of our own cast members passed away this week, and we just received word that Rachel Sada, who played, I can't really reveal her role, but she played a small part in the Lumpia with a Vengeance, and so my condolences goes out to her family and her friends. It saddens me that she won't be able to see the final film, but I'm very grateful for. She came out to, she came out to all the days of her role, and you definitely will remember her role. It's more of a visual piece that she's in, but if you can just give her a quick a moment of silence for her, please, before we begin. Thank you, everyone. And with that said, I know as everyone, we're here to celebrate our film, celebrate her and all the people involved with this movie behind and in front of the camera. So welcome again. This is the Lumpia Live webcast. Who wants to add to this?
We made it!
All right, guys, welcome to the Lumpia Live webcast. I'm going to invite you. We have a lot of special guests. We jam-packed all these folks into our Zoom. We're testing the limits of it. So let's go over to our screen and see what's going on. Here we go. And there we go. Say everyone, guys. What's up?
What's up, everybody?
We are live. You see John over here.
Hey. Good to see you all.
Hey, y'all.
Hello.
And I see someone has the echo, so make sure you don't watch our broadcast because it's delayed and we can hear you. So let's go down the line. Introduce yourselves, everyone.
Oh, my bad.
Actually, Joel didn't get the memo.
Okay, Michael.
Joel didn't get the memo. All right, let's go down the line. So we have producers. We have AJ Calomay in the house. AJ, coming out.
Hello, everybody. Calomay.
Hey.
And, we're not official unless we have the special effects over here. So AJ.
If you're watching on your device,
okay, we need to mute Joel. Joel's too loud. No one can. We need to mute Joel.
Sorry.
it's JR.
All right, and then we also have. Let's go through this. Producers. We have Lawrence Ariate.
There you go.
Hey, Lawrence.
Well, thank you guys for coming. Thank you.
And we have also producer Lisa Chung over here.
Hello.
What's up?
Hello.
And then and this I'm trying to lie here. Sorry, I'm also the effects guy, so I'm trying to get all my sound effects already. Let's get down the line here. So we also have Carlo Ricafort, who plays Jart, everyone.
Well, hello.
Yay.
Diego.
Hey.
What's up, Carlo?
Let me go. Yeah, Carlo's over here, and then we also have. Let's see. John Raposis, who plays JR from Juvie, everyone.
Yay.
Welcome.
And someone
Everybody, thank you.
Someone still has me echoed here. All right. Let's. And then we have Jerry Kabatic, who plays Little Dog. Say hi. What's up,
Jerry?
everyone? Yes.
Jerry.
What up, man?
Say hi, Jerry, so that we can. There we go. The camera can spot you here, speaker view.
Hello.
What's up?
You get an air horn.
There we go.
And we have Joel Kabatic here with a special guest here. Plays Michael. Say what's up, Joel.
What's up, Joel?
You gotta go mute. Because you gotta unmute yourself so we can see you. Oh, hold on.
Zoom rookie, Joel.
Echo.
All right,
Right on,
and let's see. We also have. I'm like looking. Last but not least, right? Is well, obviously it's Francis Custodio plays Moon, everyone.
Hey guys, how are you guys?
And let's not forget Kelly, Beth Mendoza.
Yay.
Hi, everyone.
So Beth.
Welcome back.
Listen to cast.
Bye.
Let's go.
Did I miss anyone else here? Any questions? Do I have any questions yet so far? I don't even know what's going on. Who else?
We got to welcome Matt.
Yeah. Okay. So we have two community sponsors here on board here. One of them is the Filipinx Artist of Houston, and Matt Manalo's over here. Give him a round of applause.
Welcome to be. Glad to be here.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for joining us.
Nice. All right. So quickly before we begin here, Matt, introduce yourself and what is Filipinx Artist of Houston?
Okay. Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Well, we are a group of Filipino artists who are, creative. It is the only and first artist organization that has been formed here in Houston. Mainly Filipinx artists. We are also visual artists, performance artists, musicians, artists in the kitchen as well. So, yep. We were founded by myself and Bridget Bray of Ageless Society of Texas last year. So, yeah. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
We're gonna do a watch party. We're gonna start the movie now. So if you guys, someone posts the free link right here. You can watch the movie now until 5 o'clock. The free movie. Does everyone have the link here? If you can post, someone posted on Twitch where they can watch the movie here.
Yeah.
It's a long email, but there's a bit.ly Lumpia 1 free. So if you can post that online. Also, we're gonna basically what's the plan? We're gonna watch the movie. We're gonna talk. We're gonna take your questions. We have the cast here. We've never beyond the DVD commentary. I know Francis, Ed who plays Tyrone, AJ, myself, and my brother. We did the whole DVD commentary, but we've never really hung out and see the movie together. So maybe I'll discover something that I've never knew about with the movie. How about you guys? What are you expecting this watch party as we're about to get started here?
I wanted to know if the cast members still memorize their lines from the movie.
Just some of them, other than yup for Red still reminds me of that line all the time.
Yeah, what's the one line each like you remember the most? Yours is yup. What about you, Kelly?
That's me.
Or
I get
Elizabeth?
that all the time.
Or the honeys. That was my famous Oscar-worthy line.
I memorized my pickup lines because I still use them. Just kidding.
Hey, it worked, Joel. It worked, man. You have a baby. So.
Obviously, it worked too good.
I think John Raposa's got the best line though.
All right. So are you guys ready? Are we ready here? You guys, if you have the DVD edition, you're putting on a TV monitor. If you're watching the link right now, it expires at 5 o'clock. You're gonna watch this. I will actually play the Lumpia movie here in the window, so you can actually see it here.
Yes.
But we're ready to go. Are you guys ready to sync this up together?
Yes.
You guys got your Lumpia in hand? You guys posted the link so that people can see this, right, on Facebook?
Yes.
All right, on your Twitch and Facebook. Keep sharing, and here we go. We're going to start. 3, 2, and 1.
Awesome.
All right, so just so you know, I'm seeing the Kid Heroes logo right now. Just so we're in sync, all right? I think I'm a little bit delayed, and right now we're going to Xylophone logo. This is AJ's. I'm going to add this sound effect here so that it sounds cooler with the xylophone here. Wow. I think this should be your new theme song, AJ.
Too on the nose. Too obvious.
All right, I don't know how to start. I mean, we're watching the we're watching the opening comic book scene here, so I don't know. I could say that that's my hand opens up the comic book scene. I mean,
so that's your appearance?
Yeah, that's my hand. I mean, AJ was a famous hand model for the Apple song, and I think I can. I think I can. Was it? Oh wait, Melanie says it's her hand. Was it your hand? Oh, my bad. I thought it was my hand.
Oh yeah.
So you don't even make an appearance, Pat?
I don't actually. But I can reveal in the new movie, our son Logan actually opens a comic book for Lumpia 2. So that's news, everyone. Yay!
So these comics are drawn by Leroy David right here. Beautiful comics. And this is sort of where we kind of brought in the whole theme here of the whole visual style of the comic books, the video and the comic book panels.
Lumpia isn't your average
There's our buddies Steven Silo and Sean Kirkhoff here.
Was that the always button part of the plan from the get-go?
Aren't you Filipino?
Yeah, I mean, I think once we wanted to incorporate it, I mean, I think the transition sort of just came right afterwards. So yeah, I mean, it was definitely some. Oh, JJ's not here.
We should plug JJ at 845.com. He's a good photographer. He has a whole service. He's done a lot of photographs and video shoots. He shot actually at a Breadbasket Bakery commercial. And so, it's funny seeing, I mean, Francis, that's your fam, but, it feels like I just saw JJ become the creative person growing up within the neighborhood,
Oh yeah, no, I think you got a lot to do with that, Pat. I mean, growing up with you gave us a lot of creativity, and kind of in some way he kind of followed your footsteps, in just a different direction, of course, in still photography, but still, he's been a big part of Kid Heroes growing up, so definitely.
Are you guys blood relatives?
Yeah, we are. We are.
Okay.
Anything from the discussions? Anything? I mean, we're just getting warmed up here, so it's kind of. I know these kids. Bien Ignacio. It was a youth group during that summer, so we were able to get a lot of these kids here to help out. And that's Albert. That's Philip's Cisan's brother. And then now this introduction of Carlos Bellado, who plays Kuya.
Yeah, there he is.
I don't know. He didn't show up today, so I'm
Any of
sad.
those kids in Lumpia Lumpia with a Vengeance?
What's that?
Any of those kids in the Lumpia with a Vengeance?
No, unfortunately, no. We lost in touch, I guess. It'd been nice to do that if we were that.
That'd be a cool cameo.
Yeah.
That would have been.
But not to say that there's a shortage of any cameos from the first movie. I mean, I like to think we packed the new sequel with a lot of cameos we'd notice.
Can I say that? I think on that scene for the part 2 with the kids getting beat up, my son was actually one of the kids that got beat up.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, but it's kind of nice to have my family be part of the movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Passing down the beat down.
Well, the strange thing is when he was getting beat up, he was like the tallest kid there, the biggest kid, and all the other kids. Well, and he was telling me, Dad, it didn't make any sense how I was getting my ass kicked when I'm bigger than all the other kids.
That's awesome.
So Pat, when you were filming at the school, was class in session or was it summertime, or how did you get those, or was it all guerrilla style and you did it?
I mean, we always shot during the summer. The summertime was always the best time to shoot, even when we shot our Kid Hero films. That's the best time, right? We don't have school. I don't think any of us went to summer school. Did any of you guys go to summer school? Because it just seemed that we just played baseball or shot movies.
Pat just knocks on my door. I was like, hey, we're gonna film a movie. All right, are you available?
Pat get everybody out of trouble. He's like, community service, man. Like Kid Heroes kept people out of the streets.
I didn't think about how weird it looked for us to be walking around the neighborhood, some dude with a camera. What are you doing? Are you filming these kids?
So everybody did it willingly, or was like Pat twisting anybody's arm to be in the
Actually, I
don't want to admit that, but
everybody wanted to be in front of the camera.
Now's the time. Now's the time, folks.
Like, come out or else. Okay.
Yes. I was forced to my will.
You should watch it to this.
I was just me and Francis were just playing basketball. That was like one summer, and Pat just asked me to hey, you wanna do this gig? I'm like, all right. And you want to use your orange car? Yeah. Like, that's part of the movie too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no. When we started from way back when we started filming, the original Green Magician and Kid Hero movie, when I just came back from, I came here from the Philippines, and I was probably 7 years old, and I got this, and I barely spoke any English, and you got this kid with glasses with a video camera just coming up to me and saying, hey, you want to make a movie? And, I didn't speak any English, so I said, I guess, thinking about it now, I mean, if you got any kids doing that to other kids, I mean, that's straight up like.
How close are you to the Mung Mung character, would you say, when you started filming? I mean, do you think there was more similarities or more differences between the two? I mean, all of you.
I think it's pretty similar, I would say. I mean, I would say I was, old enough to say that I'm pretty Americanized, but my fondness does still come out once in a while. So even to date. So.
What about the rest of you guys? What about the rest of you? How close were you guys to your characters? Like in comparison, were you closer or more different than would you say?
Oh, okay. Well, I was born in New England, so I was more of a British guy. I was just trying to pretend to be Filipino. Any more original than this? I mean, that's why sometimes it's so funny, because sometimes I would go into the flow where like I'm just like, yeah, I was born here. But some days, I don't know, like I just feel like, you know, my fobbish would come out, you know, like, and then sometimes, and then now that I'm 40, I'm like, I'm just trying to be comfortable in my own skin. So if it comes out, I don't give a.
That's
No,
awesome.
but it was definitely a journey with Pat. You know, like I would have never thought, like, you know, like a true inspiration. So
Wow.
I'm really thankful for this movie.
I'm sure that people are going to really be really happy with the reprisal with a lot of you. I mean, I was thrilled. I was thrilled seeing you guys back on the screen and.
Well, this is the
seeing
part
some
right
really
here, and we're seeing the part here where Jart's character comes in and like first with the women, and
Here
then
he
of course
goes.
Dennis is here too, who plays Costancio. So Dennis is not here, but Francis, why don't you speak about your brother's acting here? There's always a competition that Dennis was the better actor than you. Can you let's throw down who's the better actor, Francis or Dennis?
So everybody you
Wait, do I answer that? I mean, I to be honest, I think he's a better actor. I'll give him that. I think it just in general, but I don't know, man. I guess just being the older brother tends to get the first pick, I guess. But yeah, my brother's been pretty good, but his fobbiness is not that good. To be honest. But as an overall actor, he's good. He's good.
That's
awesome. Malnourished. Oh man.
Wait, can we say hello to Philip? Philip joined us.
Yeah, well, Philip, Philip.
Philip.
I was waiting for his entrance in the movie to give him a proper welcome. Philip, say what's up, everyone. To Philip, everyone. Philip Cison.
Hey, Philip.
Philip is actually the original, my first ever actor I ever worked with. I think that's a trivia quiz, right, Philip?
Yep.
Needs to unmute himself.
I got him.
He looks lost right now.
Hi, Philip.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Say what's up, everyone. Philip, what's going on? Is it true that you're my first ever actor?
Absolutely. Yep. The bully. Me and Jonathan. We're the first. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Very first.
Oh, that's funny. Which role? Which role was that in what film?
Was it in Philip?
It was self-titled, like the Joker. The self-titled.
Oh, really?
The bully.
Oh, the bully, dude. All I did was John. That's it. That
was a plot. That was Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. Just pick on Jonathan and beat him up.
That was it.
Here's Philip.
Yeah, there's Philip. We just appeared on the watch party here, and you and Jonathan. So Philip, talk about your relationship with Jonathan. Like, why you weren't even actually living in this neighborhood, you know? Like,
I know from what I know is from what I remember is those houses where you guys lived at, they just got built right at that time.
Oh wow!
This was what 88 or 89.
Wow.
I'm not too sure, but
yeah, it's 89. Yeah, you're right. Like around 89. It was newly built houses.
His parents just moved there, and me and Jonathan are like, we're the same age, so obviously that's your closest cousin / best friend kind of deal that you're always gonna be hanging out with. So I was just there all the time. So and my grandma lived there, so my grandma took care of us, growing up.
Do you have any questions online? I mean, now that Philip's here, I'm sure the boards are just like they're waiting to ask you Bing a question. Philip, talk about your character in Bing. I know it's not. I mean, are you proud of that character? Or did I just embarrass you for life with that character?
At first, it was embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I don't. It definitely had a. It's not something I normally played, unlike when I was playing the bully for Kid Heroes, the Green Magician. At least it was something close to what I was, but this one was a totally different character. It was, I was playing somewhat of a, fob, I guess, and stuff like that, and I didn't really know how to do it too much, and like with the accents and everything like that, I wasn't just good at it. at first it was it was a challenge, but after seeing the final product, it was like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah, you know, and I forget that you know, Kid Heroes 3, which was our epic conclusion to the Kid Heroes trilogy, you were the main villain in that one, and then, you know, I'm sorry you went from that to a supporting character in Lumpia. But we always have Kid Heroes 3 together, Philip, right? We're always gonna have Kid Heroes.
Yeah, that was our Avengers Infinity War. That's Endgame. Endgame.
Yeah.
You guys do all your own stunts at that time.
Yes. We didn't pull punches. The punches were real.
This is the piece your homework.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. I feel like while this is your scene here, you're totally killing it here with Moon and Philbert here. But talk about your business now. You're actually an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah, so me and my wife, we started a business. It's called Hook Donuts. We started about 2016, and we opened up not brick and mortar, but it's a big trailer that's at a permanent location.
Nice.
A block away from the Warrior Stadium.
Nice.
But unfortunately, because of COVID-19 and what's going on right now, we had to close down for a little bit. So we were closed for a couple months, and we just had to figure out, like, okay, what do we do now? How do we get our feet back, you know, or like, you know, just to get everything going again. So we had our kitchen warehouse, and it's our commissary. So we decided, you know what, let's just do deliveries and pickups. And so far we've been doing pretty good out of South City. So we just got back a couple weeks ago, and everything's been really good going so far.
So you're taking orders and everything. Is there a website that the public?
Yes, it's www.hookt donuts spelled DOUGHNETS.com, and
Yeah, and then we could someone in the boards can put it up. I'm sure the website's there. Just, you know, look it up. You know, I just actually saw The Donut King today. It's a documentary made by good friends, Alex Liu and Jose Nunez, and I kind of teared up a bit. I was very proud, and I know we have Rob. You know, we also worked on that, but like that just. I think what made me sad is I watched that documentary and I cried because I didn't have any donuts around me. Anyway, that's just a plug for Donut King. It's coming out. It's a really good documentary about the Cambodian refugees who came out to America.
Yeah, it's a big thing for the Cambodian community.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Philip's donuts, Hook Donuts, those are legit.
Yeah,
so
delicious.
Those are so good, man. So if you guys want to get your order soon, because
you guys want to go to San Diego?
donuts are legit.
Yeah, we do mochi donuts right now, so.
You know, I had a question here, and this is for Philip because Jonathan's not here. They're asking the grandma. Who's the grandma in the house that says infamous line, the P word?
Oh my God, Petra, yeah, actually, that's our grandma. That's who raised me.
Oh, awesome.
And our other cousins, you know, growing up, man. And when me and John would get out of line, she would whoop our ass.
That's awesome.
This is in the middle of the street and whoop our ass, dude, straight up.
So she's the genuine grandmother.
Genuine grandma, dude. It's not even, she doesn't use a slipper. She uses it.
That's awesome.
We should transition now to, we just saw Kelly here with Paloma and Jill here. And so, Beth, talk about, I guess talk about how you ended up in Lumpia.
I actually met Pat through church. It was OLPH, and we had summer games and youth group. And
so you're that actors, the best way to be casted in a movie is just go to church. Go to church, pray, and you will end up in a movie.
Pray for that role, huh?
yes, he asked me just one day, it's like, oh, hey, would you want to do a movie? Like, it's going to be in the neighborhood. So I was like, okay. It was kind of hard to get out of the house because my parents were very strict. So Pat always had either, if we had summer games, it would be like an hour after practice, or I'd have to kind of find a way to sneak out to do scenes with them. It was very hard.
That's romantic. That's so romantic.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that this is the first time this is how hard it was for us to cast female roles. It was like, we didn't know anyone. We've been making movies for so long, and the only female that I think that ever started was Joel's sister. Oh, Joel. And we always made her like the mugging victim, and so when this love interest came up, and Joel just runs out the room. He doesn't answer this. but what I'm saying is that I don't know. So it's funny how that, and then we recruited Paloma, who's my cousin, to play this. So I don't know.
There she goes, Pat. There goes Lee.
Oh, there goes Lee.
The first female actress.
Original.
Well, at least someone. Joel, you need to talk because we can't see Alicia Joe on the. We can't see Lee on the.
I don't know where
the
camera is.
She's unmuted. There you go.
Hi.
There you go.
Yes,
Our first female
actress.
actress in the Kid Heroes universe.
Oh, gee.
Her line was, "This is so good" or something. Yeah.
At some point, we should release the remastered Kid Heroes films and just embarrass us a little bit more.
That's when the Green Magician, I think, ended up underneath the dining room table, right?
Now we're going inside deep into the Kid Heroes universe now.
Wow.
There's Jerry chasing him.
Yeah. So here we are, Jerry. Jerry plays Little Dog here. I know you've played other parts before, but how your feelings seeing this again?
The enforcers.
Yep.
Jerry, watching it again, I don't know who would be scared of a 4-foot Filipino dude chasing after him, but
You had that big bat, Jerry. You know, anyone will be afraid of that bat.
I think it was heavier than him at the time.
Jerry.
Uh-oh.
Come
on, Derek,
Is there any questions? We're just gonna, I want to drink something.
And Joel, you have a New York Yankees hat and a Dallas jacket.
I know you're conflicted, bro. You're conflicted. What's going on?
are
Bandwagon. That's a bandwagon fan if I ever knew anyone.
The two of the most hated teams ever, man.
Just because our team sucked back then doesn't mean.
Hey, you made me wear that wardrobe, man. I made Patrick.
What are you talking about? You stole the wardrobe budget of zero and you wore your own clothes.
Wardrobe too. Pat was in charge of wardrobe also.
Yeah, no, the direction was easy. Wear whatever you're wearing that day.
And make sure you still have it.
Yeah, make sure that was. Oh man,
right?
How many? I don't know if this happened
man.
with Lumpia. How many times did we literally had to we have to change the story because you don't have that.
I don't have that shirt.
Oh, Francis.
I don't have that hat.
Francis, it was the Bulls thing. Well, later on in that scene, there's a scene there where he ends up wearing a jersey, and then we that. I don't think we had that anymore for the next one. We had to reshoot it later.
Yeah, we had so many issues with wardrobe. I mean, some of it, especially when we started. I was 16 when I started, so I was a lot skinnier. So then by the time we finished when I was 22, I 40 to 50 pounds heavier. So a lot of those clothes didn't fit no more. So. Or they just have to take the shot from the chest. It's popping out my stomach.
The color has to match at least, right?
Yeah, that's true, Joel. That's right.
And
that was funny.
I think while we're in this scene, we should talk about. We see Brian Lucas here, and he rest in peace, Brian. He played Swift Rock, and he used his DJ name, and he was. Brian was not only a talented person, but he was all game when we did the scene. So I was cool, Brian. Yeah, he was. We're going to the infamous scene now where there's Richard playing Zeus.
So that guy just playing Filbert right now, Roy. Yeah, he's probably the least from the fob in our group. I don't think he can even speak Tagalog at all.
Yeah, we use Jamaican accent as our default. Our default That's what it seemed like. Everyone was like, okay, we'll just do it Jamaican style, because that was pretty popular in The Living Color at the time.
Pulled it off. He pulled it off.
Hell yeah, I'm on.
Oh, that's too funny.
Anything in the boards? Any questions? I don't know if I'm not even looking at the board. So Lawrence, AJ, just stop us if there's any questions.
No, just a lot of appreciation of Hook Donuts. I mean, a lot of love for Hook Donuts. I gotta give me a dozen. Man.
Yeah, get a dozen, man. It's been good. I mean, I don't know. It's like this whole pandemic thing. It's like you gotta reinvent yourself, but at the same time, like a lot of people are thriving. Like
I got an idea. Can you create a Bing flavor, like a special Bing donut for when the movie comes out? You know,
throwback flavor,
what
man.
would the Bing donut be like?
It's gotta be something alcohol infused. That's for sure.
Hennessy and cinnamon. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know. I gotta think. We did an Irish Bailey cream, and that one was a pretty good hit. So, want to do something whiskey. We'll see.
Oh boy, there's a moment here. I want to do this. Wow, that's the PP scene right there.
This is the moment.
This is a big moment here. Now, Pat, what made you think of doing this?
I needed something shocking. I needed something shocking. Obviously, when we fight, it's not a real fight. It's like play fighting. So I needed something that was what's the most demeaning thing you could do to another person without killing them? And then obviously we can't just punch him and kick him because in this world no one actually gets hurt.
Guys,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Pat. Sorry.
Oh no. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, like, my daughter. I asked her to watch the movie with me today, but she's like, "Dad, I don't want to watch it because I don't want to see you get pissed on." I'm like, that doesn't mean I got pissed on. So just let you know.
Did we traumatize her? I'm sorry. She thought
got traumatized by that scene. To be honest, man.
Things got real.
I don't think we've seen this in another movie. I mean, what? Well, I mean, any movie that's released to the public.
Is this a first? Is this another first, AJ? We have another Filipino first here.
Yeah, this is our first. Dude, I remember filming this. This was hella funny.
Oh, Jerry, Joel, you can't stop laughing here, man.
All the Filipino victims, all of the Lumpia victims, all like locked up. I love this.
How many lumpias did we use in filming this part?
But Joel, Jerry, we never gave you bad lumpia to eat. You guys got pretty decent lumpia to eat that day, right? I don't think we stuffed it with the usual, like the bad stuff.
No. I think it was always a real one.
It was a real one. See how much we love you guys? See how much we love you guys? We never gave you the prop lumpia.
Fake stuff.
The Vienna sausage / mungo bean lumpia.
So how many lumpias were harmed in the movie?
Harmed? They're not real lumpia. They're not because so my brother reminded me of the story. You know, so my brother, one of his jobs was to cook fresh lumpia on the morning of we were gonna shoot. And sometimes we shot last second, right? So he would take whatever leftovers was in the kitchen from the previous night. Sometimes it was mungo beans, corned beef, whatever, rice. And then he would take Vienna sausage because according to him, the Vienna sausage made the lumpia fly better. It was heavier. So putting one Vienna sausage inside the lumpia and frying it quick was like the easiest prop lumpia to make.
Wow.
Quick, you know, wrap it up, fry it, and it was sturdy, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
Special now that I didn't get
So Vienna sausage was a secret to a flying lumpia. You know, you never want to put just veggies in it because it'll just be hollow, you know, and not as heavy.
So some Filipino restaurant might need to start serving the Vienna sausage lumpia from the Lumpia movie.
Hey Pat, who's that teacher right there?
Oh, that was Janice Enos, Miss Enos. That was like my math teacher and my class advisor. So that was actually her retiring year. I think that was the year she retired, and so I caught her.
She still around?
Yeah, no, I gave her. She was a big fan of the movie. I don't know if she's. I mean, I saw her 5 years ago, so I don't know what's happened. I'm hoping she's around and laughing. Watching the stream right now.
That scene is an editing thing for me too because the way the way she walks in, we don't see her enter. I don't think we have footage of that. So
She
that's
just
sort of what we
pops
call
up.
in editing. Like it's sort of like the ghost that appears, when someone comes out of nowhere. And that always scares me. Like when she comes in, it's almost like a jump scare in a horror movie. It's like, is something wrong here?
And you know what? There's a whole that shot actually in the Hollywood was the very first shot we shot of the movie. That was with Francis and Ed right at the locker scene with the teacher. But there's a whole tape of footage that went missing. That's why there's a lack of it. And it was Tyrone actually had another female, another girlfriend there, and her name was Debbie Emogan, and we shot that whole scene. I don't remember this, Francis. Like, so there's Tyrone's character is actually with another actress there.
Oh, wow.
But you see her kind of walking away, but all that angle of them showing Ed's close up, we lost that footage after somewhere.
And you never used it again. She doesn't show up.
That was just her one scene only, because the thing was Tyrone's character always had a different girl every scene. That was kind of like the running joke.
Did you tell? Your footage.
I mean, Debbie, wherever you're at, yeah.
She's still coming.
She's
still
years,
going to
the movie
every
didn't come out
showing.
until what, 7 years after we shot it. So I'm sure they've forgotten about it. So Debbie, if you're out there, join our Zoom right now if you want. Go in the boards. Let us know.
You'll be in the Snyder cut.
Lawrence, I'm giving a message right now, right? You need to read this. But anyway, any message boards, AJ? Well, I don't even know what scene we're at now.
We are. This is the
bridge scene.
Oh, we're in the bridge scene. Oh, yeah. So this is Beth, you're gonna be in this scene because these are now we're entering footage that was not shot. This is like we shot in 1996, so this footage here was shot in 1998, I think. They're definitely different because I can tell by your braces, Francis. Yeah, braces here.
That's in the house.
In my hair.
Dude,
Yeah.
when we filmed this
Carlo,
part right
do
here,
you remember this, Carlo? You're wearing my one of my wardrobe here, which I don't like to admit.
Found in the back of your car.
Your vest.
Not your
Wearing the
vest.
vest.
it's your best pack.
I love the outfit.
Actually, all right, I gotta admit, all the clothes that the pack wore were actually reject gifts from Christmas. So whatever my Nina gave me, Christmas sweaters. Yeah, those are all reject gifts that myself and my brother never wore, and we just kind of threw it in the wardrobe. So there's a wardrobe budget. A wardrobe budget was provided by my godparents.
From that bridge to that scene.
Here you go, Beth. You're in the park right now.
At all?
What was that?
Is Dar in the film at all?
Oh
in
yes,
front of-
he's in the shoe store scene. You'll see him.
Oh, the shoe store
He worked
scene.
there. That was his job. So we just kind of took the cameras to his job and shot.
What year was that?
96, I believe.
Okay.
It was Wild Pear. Was the store.
Ceremony.
Who worked in ceremony? Whoever worked in ceremony.
I never worked.
Wild Pear was the store. You remember Wild Pear?
Work at in ceremony.
Wait, what was it called? I worked at Brooks Fashions.
Oh, nice.
Macy's wing.
Nice.
But it was near the shoe store.
Nice.
Like the leads.
The mall, I think.
What you gonna do? That's right. Ain't no one touching Tyrone here.
Honeys, blood, the honeys.
We're still waiting for my Oscar nomination, man.
Yeah. My cousin quotes that line, Jerry. That's like my favorite lines. Yeah, this one Tyrone gets pretty mean right here. He's
I would say Ed was a really good actor. I mean, playing that part as Tyrone, it just fit him so well,
Oh yeah.
So,
He was a natural.
no, it was.
I know. What are you doing there, Phil?
Watching Bumba tapes. That was a scene for perverts, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that is, dude. That is.
So Pat, when you were writing the characters, you already had in mind who they were going to be played by. So you knew Ed was going to be Tyrone.
Yeah, no, that was like yeah, they were kind of typecasted a bit, you know, just where I felt it was comfortable. I mean, it wasn't a stretch for Ed to be that person. I mean, he's not as bad as Tyrone, but it was definitely a stretch for, you know, like Philip and Francis, and then, well, maybe not so much Francis, but like, you know, like to play. You just have to go back 5 years, right? That's
true. That's true.
just go back to when you first met you know.
That's true.
Yeah, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't have host capability, so there are all these people waiting. So I'm letting them all in because Lawrence just like left the door closed. So we're getting more people into this Zoom chat right now.
Yeah, it took me a while to get in.
Open the door.
Yeah, I know. That's why there's a call time, guys, you know? But in the Kid Heroes world, call time is whenever you're free.
Exactly.
All right, so Jerry's chasing the car right now. And then we're going to Saramonte. I guess for you guys in Daly City, I mean, explain to the people who are not from Daly City what's Saramonella.
I thought Saramonella was known worldwide.
You thought it was what?
I thought Saramonella was known worldwide. Every Filipino knows it.
Nah, I didn't know about it.
Did you know about it, AJ?
No idea. No idea. I mean, but my first time in Daly City when I was maybe like 20 years old, that was one of the first places I went to. I didn't want to go to a mall. I didn't want to see the
culture. Taking the culture.
Yeah, exactly. Let me go to this mall right here.
He's just sitting down.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. But yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of why, you know, for me working on the movie, not being as familiar with Daly City, you know, I kind of had that objectivity. So it was fun to like sort of look at you guys as, you know, these characters in my head, you know, so seeing these places like Saramonte and all the parks, it definitely felt like a set to me still. So yeah.
Were you able to buy all your Lakers gear there?
I should have.
Doritos or?
Huh?
Are you from, what part of SoCal are you from again?
West LA.
Oh, West, okay.
Yeah.
Sabina or like?
Just like LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Cerritos is definitely a big Filipino area, West Covina. So yeah, when I was watching, you know, your guys' footage, I kind of imagined it like, okay, this is kind of like this like Filipino world here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
You know, I remember when we were filming in Saramonte, in the shoe store. I remember people thought that there were big stars that were filming at that time, and then when they took a peek, they were just so disappointed. When they thought, who the hell are these guys? What the hell? You know. I remember people were trying to take a peek on who's being filmed.
I remember Lloyd LaQuesta from KTVU was there. He was like a reporter at the time, and he actually was shopping for shoes. And then I got so starstruck. Oh my God, Lloyd LaQuesta! And like, hey, I'm directing a movie right now. I'm like, really? Where? They're like, oh, okay. And he's like walked out.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Watch us now. Well, he regrets it probably. You could have him a cameo as a shoe customer.
Yo, Carlos in the house. What's up, Carlos?
Yeah, man.
Hey, Carlos.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, everyone, let's welcome Carlos, Bea, and Kuya in the house.
Hey.
Carlos.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome.
Nice.
Nice.
What part are we at? Oh, so we're in the shoe store scene right now, Carlos. So I think you're coming up soon, so we're going to talk about your scene here, Carlos.
Okay.
But let's see, Beth, you're here, and every time I see the scene here when you're interacting with Moon Moon's character, I see my USC checkbook on here. It's like I keep imagining. I don't think Kelly would have a checkbook at this age.
Not at that time.
Yeah, I was just. And she has my USC checkbook at the time. And she wrote out a check to herself.
She check for $10. It's like 10 something.
Kelly's gone to the
How much were shoes
life of
back
crime.
then?
Jump through the life of crime early.
We gotta give props up to Wild Pair. I don't think they exist anymore, but
Yeah, I don't know if they still exist.
yeah, we put them out of business. We were trying to, if they only get, you know, if they only got paid for this product placement, then maybe they would still exist. But alas, no. Hey, Carlos, you worked at the shoe store, right? It wasn't just my brother. My brother
Right.
just was at the scene. Was it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Your brother helped me get the job.
Oh, okay, yeah. My brother was the in. It was the in to work at Sara Manila Mall, right? And Wild Pair was the first. In order to go from Orange Julius to, you had to go through Wild Pair and then to the I don't know Macy's until eventually you work your way up to Macy's. I guess is the ultimate job at Sara Manila Mall. Beth, when you see the scene, what comes to mind? Oh, there's Joel and Jerry coming in here. I always get a sense of like maybe we should talk about. There's no script here, right? I just told you guys what to do. What do you remember, Jerry? From the shoe store scene, or Joel, anyone, Beth. This is your
I
scene.
just remember you kept making me talk to your hand because there was really no one else around us.
Yeah.
You're like, here, look right here.
Francis was
Yeah.
never available. Francis was never available, so he was a hard actor to work with. He was never available on that Sunday.
This was fun because I was like, "There's so many shoes. I wanted to smell one. I wanted to make sure we get that in there. I think I smell. Did I smell a shoe in this one? But it was fun. It was interesting, just being out and about. Not the typical neighborhood.
I like how how old were you here, Jerry? Were you? You were
11 or 12.
Oh wow.
12, maybe 12. I pretty much just showed up.
Look at that,
Pretty
the
just
hat.
showed up, and then you told me where to stand. I was like, okay. I had no clue what I was doing.
But you had a lot of energy, Jerry. You kind of made that little dog more. It's weird. Little dog was supposed to be the little brother of G-Dog's character, but I think I kind of I retro, or what do we call it? What's it? Rebooted it or retcon it? I retconned that idea for the sequel. I mean, I guess while we're talking about this, I mean, Joel, Jerry, I mean, and Beth, like, talk about how you transition without spoiling anything from. You guys are also in the sequel, Lumpia with a Vengeance. So.
Oh, it was an easy transition, especially seeing all those cool, fancy cameras versus the 8mm that we used to use. Oh, that was easy. It felt
It's
natural.
easier, yeah, too, because you know who the people you're working with are. So it's not as nerve-wracking.
You guys were all great. You guys came on and just were all positive. I love seeing all of you guys come on. It's just definitely a treat seeing the old cast, the OG cast of Lumpia.
I remember when I first stepped on the set for the Lumpia 2, I was like, wow, this is legit. Where is the 8mm camera?
Those things don't last too long. I mean, I think even when we were shooting Lumpia 1, it was a struggle to keep finding video cameras. I think I had to borrow Francis's camera at one point, my uncle's camera, because I mean, I actually had to, even for the last shoot in 2003 was the party scene. I had to shoot a digital camera, my old Sony, which I still have, the Sony DV camera that I had for the debut tour, like, because none of the video camcorders. So even if you look, I don't know if you can match, if AJ notices, you know, the quality was a little bit more digital than the grainy video 8. So we kind of lost that in the party scene.
It's artistic. It's artistic.
Yeah.
Artistic
it's
choice.
like the difference between 16mm and 35, and like different film stock. We kind of cheated it in video formats.
I think for me, when I knew it was going to be different, was when you sent the email like, oh, your call time is such and such. And I was like, what the hell is a call time?
Call time was ringing the doorbell.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's the equivalent of me ringing your doorbell. Jerry, you can't hide from me.
Yeah.
I know you're there,
Hey, get
Jerry.
ready.
I know you're there. Open
Were
the
you,
door. Don't
were
hide.
you expecting that? It's
Don't
like
hide.
knock on the
like.
That's
Time to wake up.
That was me as an AD knocking on ringing the doorbell. Jerry, where are you? Richard, is your brother there? Or Joel, Joel, your cousin is like kicking out.
She's like, hey, we're gonna film. Make sure you have the same clothes.
Oh, this is Carlos's big action.
Here we
This
go.
is the-
Here we
the,
go.
This is the big like.
Hero moment. This is the hero moment.
And you know, actually, my brother. This is one of the pieces my brother directed. I actually gave him free reign to direct this scene at the right in front of our house. So he did that stuff with Joel. I think he shot that with Joel Cabanas. And I was chasing after this truck, which we lost, Carlos. We didn't have this truck anymore. We were trying to reshoot some things here.
What was that?
Yeah.
I remember this.
You can thank my brother for that.
How'd you feel about that, Carlos? I mean, you're like a real hero in this film. Like at the time, you're just like,
Unlike Philip, who went from Super Villain Theaters 3 and got downgraded. Carlos actually got promoted to the hero.
I know.
He upgraded. He got upgraded.
It's weird because I mean, to go from like background character to
Thug One.
Thug One, yeah.
Thug One.
The actual Lumpia, the actual superhero. It's a little surreal because I mean,
you were a number. You were just a number back then, Carlos. And
exactly.
Hey, Jerry, you remember filming this? I remember filming this, and we were going slow, but it makes it look like we're going really fast on the truck. But we weren't even going that fast. I was like, how's he gonna make this look like we're moving so fast?
Special effects.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not even going anywhere. But...
And you guys are like your own stuntman on this, you know.
Well, yeah, you know, when AJ did the trailer, he used a lot of those Carlos scenes in the truck scene.
Yeah. Cool. This is a fun one.
Beth, so this is interesting. Beth goes from like 3 different eras here. Includes her hair goes from ponytail.
Braces, everything.
Braces, no base.
This is exact, and I think we used the whole like it was a dream to kind of like cheat it, but I don't know. How'd you feel shooting this, Beth? I'm curious when you see this again. What do you remember?
Doesn't Francis have braces at one point too?
Yeah.
That's
right. When you kissed them, the braces came off.
They transferred over.
Who's the fence?
The passion was that.
They traded braces.
That's stuck in my braces.
That laugh kills me every time.
That was a real laugh too.
Yeah, we just looped it back and forth. Can you guys speak about your reactions when you saw this at the world premiere? Do you guys, the ones who were there, like, what were you? Were you scared before this thing unleashed in the San Francisco State University?
Oh, well, I thought, you know, it's when I first got there, it was like, wow, I didn't think it was gonna be that big. I thought it was gonna be like how your other movies were, like, oh, we're gonna show this in someone's living room, and that's gonna be it. I didn't know it was gonna be wolf.
Wow.
Okay, it's now in one of the main halls of SF State. So yeah, that was a little weird for me. I didn't think it was gonna be that big. And then people are cheering for me. They're calling my name, and like, and this is after we graduated. It's like, man, when I was going to this school, you barely even knew me.
See, all you needed was a film.
Were they calling you by your real name or your character's name?
They called me Lumpia. They didn't even know my real name.
Oh, wow.
Hey, it's that Lumpia guy.
Wow.
Someone's wearing my New York hat.
Yeah, so it's funny. This is Carlo. Do you remember this part here shooting? And this is Francis. The clothes that we never got here. This is like the
jersey.
Lost that. Yeah, the jersey we lost.
Oh no.
So he becomes chubbier with a 49er jersey. Sorry, Francis. That's the only reason why we could get the jersey. We need something.
Oh my god.
No, I remember that.
Oh my god.
He had a sneak effect that he was getting bigger.
I think later on you'll see it when I run up the hill. I think I was 16, and I think when I got up on the top, I was 22. I gained like 40 pounds. I think I ran to like the nearest McDonald's or something.
Oh my god.
And Dennis
I gained so much weight. It's insane.
Dennis and Carlo here, like totally, like Carlo, you look the same, but Dennis like totally looks much older now here in this scene. Carlo, you're there. Carlo, talk about the. This goes to the karaoke scene. I don't know. Do you remember shooting that? And I don't know why we added this karaoke part. Do you remember?
I mean, I don't know. There was that one time where I guess you just told me about it, and I'm like, okay, I'm just down. All right, I'm just following your lead. You know?
Well, no, it's weird because Carlo wanted to sing it really great, and I said, no, you got to sing this really, really bad. You know.
Yeah, it was pretty hard to sing really bad. You know, coming from a professional point of view.
Sort of acting, right?
I had to downgrade for a while there.
Carlo, did that scene ruin your career as a musician?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because in this this is the time when we were trying to start a singing group, and after like maybe a couple of years, everywhere we would go, they wouldn't remember me from a group or anything. They would remember me from the movie Lumpia. I don't know.
Oh my god!
Instead of Jay Riggs, they would be like George. I'm like, who's Jay Riggs? Hey George, can you get an autograph? I'm like, I try to sing to, by the way, professionally, but I guess it didn't work out.
I like to think that we made it up. We like a tease for the second film. That you definitely killed it for the sequel, Carlo. You did it really. I just gotta thank you. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, can we talk about that? Like, or
we can just say that we can't say exactly what song.
There's a reprisal of some sort. Special reprisal.
I just thought I needed to, I just need to prove myself once again. And I was enjoyed. I don't want to be remembered that way.
I think it's the part where we're all supposed to sing along. I can't even see the lyrics here. If we were
I'm an American. I'm British
I'm
American
static right now.
It came from you.
This is shot in Kmart, by the way. Does everyone remember Kmart? That's still around, right?
How was that filming inside Kmart? Were people looking at you?
Well, Kmart said I only had like 30 minutes to shoot in there before they would call the cops. So I
wow, the
gorillas.
Rebel. That's a rebel.
The camera.
The fitting room.
Oh, that was cold.
What was the inspiration?
Again, just like Wildcat, we put Kmart out of business and closed it. So the movie is just this curse to just put the business out.
Did it. You pay for the stuff there that you bought? Is that what happened?
I was hoping that we would bring more business to Kmart. Look at all the stuff that Dennis and Carlos are putting in the shopping cart right now. You know?
I had so much fun doing that part.
Yeah,
I thought I was a movie star for a second.
My cameo is here, by the way. It's right. You'll see my cameo here.
Oh yeah, right there.
Oh no, not the loop of it. It's somewhere. So I did squeeze myself in, but this is an example of we shot all this in a digital camera versus a video.
Fit a karaoke video look.
Yeah, no. Again, it all works out on the creative end, right?
My favorite part here, Carlos, is when you're auditioning the boxers. You know. How about that?
I still wear that right now. Sorry.
And this was last second. This was all placed in. I mean, we used Joy Disco here. We were actually shooting the interview for the special features for the debut DVD, and we actually squeezed this in the same day.
Oh, how funny! So that was.
Oh, there you go.
Were you sitting inside the car filming, or did you just set up
the cool thing about that camera is that it was very portable, like the phone. So I just put the phone on. Again, we only had like 30 minutes before they called it.
So Pat, you didn't ask permission. You just started shooting, and they said you got 30 minutes. How did that?
It doesn't matter. Kmart's out of business, right?
It's time for confession.
Of course we can afford all the permits. We had so much money for this film. We're talking easily. We chose Kmart versus Target. That's how dedicated we were. You know?
That was my choice, artistic choice there.
I don't know if when you grow up. I don't know if it was like that. Kmart was we'd always be so embarrassed to go to Kmart because the kids would always make fun of us if you were caught shopping at Kmart.
Oh yeah, same here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a deal, right? I don't know if there's any store now that kids like. Oh, if you were in Target,
Shane.
Like,
Yeah,
is there a
the-
Shane store now? Like, kids can't.
Costco. No, I don't know.
Kohl's, maybe Kohl's.
Kohl's, really?
Kohl's.
Kohl's
Pretty,
considered really?
Kohl's?
Really?
Kohl's pretty high.
Is that considered embarrassing to shop?
You know what it is? You know,
I don't think so.
today's
That's like
all
high
about
class Marshall.
These though, the young kids. Kohl's.
people like to talk how they buy old clothes, from the flea market and that sort of thing, or recycled clothes. It wasn't like how it is, but how it was back then.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like it's using old clothes is in, cheap clothes is in, as opposed to back then. You got like something that was inexpensive at Kmart, you got shamed.
Oh yeah.
Blue light special over there.
It's vintage clothing now. It's what it's called.
Yes, vintage. It's all vintage.
Retro.
Yeah, retro. See,
Throwback.
Yes, we got names for it.
So right now we're in the party scene, and I don't know, people don't know what the concept of garage parties. I'll pick on Jerry just because you're a DJ. Like, talk about the concept of garage parties, because it's not as common outside of outside of the Bay. Jerry,
I don't even remember the last garage party I've ever been to. That was like the heyday of DJing in Daly City back in the day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but the reason why we had garage parties, because that was the way the houses are built, right? Like we can I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what's the why garage parties? Why was that such a thing?
Because
everybody
free.
could hang out in the garage.
You have to rent.
Yeah, Carlos is a DJ too,
Parents upstairs, kids
Mobile
downstairs.
DJs,
That's right.
Whose garage was that, Pat?
What was that?
Whose garage was
Ed's,
that?
Oh, this
right?
is that
That was
Carlos.
mine.
Yeah,
That was my
his garage.
Yeah, that was my house.
You could tell he wants a piece of that Lumpia fire.
I know, I've always wanted to shoot there just because they all had the DJ set up and everything. I mean, the DJ group was To The Extreme, right, Carlos? That was your DJ
Right,
group.
right.
And then Jerry, what was your DJ group for your brother?
Center of Attraction.
Yes, there you go. And then that itself is that's a whole new genre in the movie that hopefully down the line you can continue with. So that scene was very unique for us growing up. Now it's Instagram Live DJing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
This is an example.
No
of
one in the room.
Sure.
There's no one in the room.
Oh, Joel. Yeah. So the scene here, Joel. Yeah, you can speaking of that, Joel. It's in 1996, Joel versus 2001, I think. Joel, Schematic, Michael.
I love your reaction.
Yeah, Pat's like, do you still have that shirt? It has blue and red split. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
no,
do you still have that Yankees hat and that Cowboys coat?
Yeah, the Yankees hat.
Still hang on to that?
Oh, man.
Joel, have
It is a Yankees hat.
Yeah. What's that?
Have your kids watched the movie?
No. No.
Not yet.
The rated version. She's watching it now because she can't hear it.
The censored version,
The censored version, yeah.
With all the sounds, with all the.
Yeah, we don't want your daughter to see how you were when you were younger, Joel. You're unhinged. You're unhinged.
Yeah, she knows already.
With all the rough edges, Joe.
Yeah. Oh, this was a fun scene though. I remember this.
This was a stressful scene. I would say that this is equivalent of the gym scene in the Lumpia sequel. It was just we were trying to. This is the climax. This was just as stressful, and just because it's just me and my brother.
Gigs.
Yeah. Do you remember that night? Remember that first night, Beth? Like we were, your sister was there. I had my cousins there. We were trying to create our own garage party, really. In one night. I remember being so bad because I didn't get to shoot everything. It was stressful.
I like the way this though. It really made the garage seem really big, and the hallways of the house really big.
Well, this is AJ here. Like this scene actually belonged to Brian. That's supposed to be Swift Rock talking to Abby's character, and we never shot that side for Brian. So AJ, he shot it in his editing room. Stepped in.
I know, right by the editing computer. Talking to someone from the past, from 1990.
All you needed was that pink light.
Yeah.
Where did we get that pink light? Was that something we put in post, or did we actually have a pink light in the editing room?
I think we had like a gel or something.
A
with
gel?
Like lights, yeah.
That's how crazy it was. Like, we didn't ever shot that. Maybe we should just shoot it right now and just pop it into the scene. We're like editing room. Let's just pop it in. Let's just shoot it right now and pop it in.
I was the out of place LA guy in that one, right?
But with the accurate parka though. That was...
Yeah. That was that was perfect.
It's not that accurate because if you wore that really in Day City, you get beat up, AJ.
Still wear it proudly.
No, you can wear a Yankees hat, but not a Lakers parka. That's the thing.
Oh, here comes. There's the connection scene here. I love this.
What are the discussions? Is everyone gone quiet on the boards? Is that why?
Oh, this is the best scene. This is a
I
cool
know.
scene.
I feel like I thought we had so many questions to ask all the cast here.
No questions. So just a lot of comments, a lot of love being shared.
I remember filming this, Pat. Remember we tried to make it seem like we filled up the garage because there's only a few of us that were there.
Yeah.
So if you look at me and Jerry are in there multiple times.
And you're like dancing around that. Yeah, you're like the extra, like for the close-ups. Like we would like just use you and you guys would dance around like Lola and Abby or something, you know. But, I mean,
that's Patrick. Hey, ring the doorbell. Hey, call time. Let's go. We're filming. I don't care what you're wearing. You can be extra. You're filming different roles.
Yeah, no, like this scene here, we shot this like the next morning or something because we never shot it. There's Jerry and Joel dancing in the background. That's all they're doing, going back and forth during this pivotal scene between Moon Moon and Kelly, and all you see is just Jerry and Joel dancing behind them.
There we are.
There's Earl's asking, what was Crafty like on set?
Oh, there was food?
It was the lumpia.
Yeah, besides Vienna sausage.
The Vienna sausage extraordinary.
I don't remember ever feeding you guys.
bologna sandwiches.
You fed everyone fake lumpia.
I think we just said, okay, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Take my stuff.
The only people who got fed were the people who got the actual lumpia in their mouth.
No, that's why Carlos loved playing that role because at least he got fed.
Because he got fed.
A lot of lumpia.
Like take two, I missed that one.
That's why they see the tennis court. That's why they see the tennis court. Joel and Jerry, they're so happy because they were gonna put lumpia in their mouths, and they're like, "Wow, we get food."
He's like, look at me. Look at me.
Yeah, but you were giving me those nasty lumpia sausage.
No,
you
missed the Carlos. You missed the Carlos. I was telling them that
You missed the actual ingredients.
Yeah, no, we love Joel and Jerry more because when we put lumpia in their mouth, we gave them the best stuff. You know, high quality restaurant made lumpia. We actually bought it for them.
I think even that one scene with Paul and the one on his butt, I think that was a real one too.
You wasted a real one in Paul's
No,
butt,
Joel
really?
ate that right after that scene. That's why Joel remembers it.
And then you threw that egg roll from Jack in the Box in there too.
Yeah. That was not my finest moment. We were so desperate for a lumpia. It was on a Sunday. On a Sunday, all the Filipino restaurants were closed because of church, and so we went to a 24-hour Jack in the Box drive-through. And it's funny because it's not in the scene where Moon Moon gets that lumpia in his mouth, like the big moment, right? It's a Jack in the Box egg roll. Like for the most hero moment for the lumpia, we bastardized it and used the Jack in the Box egg roll. It's not even a spring roll; it's an egg roll.
It was good, man. I'll take that Jack in the Box lumpia.
They look pretty
Vienna sausage, so.
The Vienna sausage one, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I found out. No one, the Filipino restaurants don't cook lumpia on Sundays. Everyone's at church. That was a moment I wish we knew before we shot.
Oh, that's funny.
But I mean, that Jack in the Box egg roll is about the size of like the stun lumpia that we use. So it's kind of a precursor to the sequel. The lumpia started getting bigger and bigger, more powerful.
Using burritos. We're using deep fried burritos at the end.
Well, just like this entire movie, everything's about continuity errors. So whether it's a short haircut or long haircut, why not have small lumpia and large egg rolls?
Yeah, you remember in the scene where I was sitting down at the school? You
Yeah.
remember that that lumpia was like twice as long as my hand.
Yeah, no, we have in the making of we have like outtakes of Carlos like spitting out all that lumpia he was eating. It was like he was trying to stoically like eating it, and then all of a sudden, even this scene here right now. This is John. I think John. Where you at, John? This is your JR from Juvie moment here.
Yeah.
Are you still there? You're waiting? There we go. John reposes, everyone.
There we go. There we
He's
go.
been waiting for this moment. We introduced a new character, DCD.
So scary.
This is it.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then let's take out the lumpia thing. We never really figure it out. Like, where does Kuya get his lumpia from a pouch? You know, how do you keep it fresh?
Yeah.
And so even you can't really spoil what happens in the sequel, but I know for the new movie we were trying to figure out. Okay, we need to figure out how does this lumpia stay fresh, you know, on it. And I know we haven't revealed that yet, so I hope we don't spoil it. But I like to think we solved that problem very very cool in the movie.
I think he just has a PA just give him a fresh lumpia, right? Just has like his unseen assistant. He's constantly like calling in orders.
Carlos, that was your pouch, right? Like, was that? I think that was like our trick with it. It was like put it in a little pouch. So how many lumpia could you actually fit in that, Carlos?
Maybe like 1 or 2. And not only that, I don't know whose pouch that was, but it was all crocheted.
Oh, I thought it was yours. I thought it was your pouch.
No, it's not. It was crocheted or something.
It's from Etsy.
This is
Sounds
where
like a
we needed a costume designer at this point, but we just kind of like use our own clothes. So.
But you know what? I think it added to the authenticness because I mean, you know, are you really gonna have like your own lumpia pouch? No, you're gonna have one that your mom crocheted or something.
I thought that was a marble bag. It looks like a marble bag, right?
A marble bag.
Oh, that's
cute. Your barong though, man. It matches your barong, so it works out well.
There we go. Here we go. This is the JR from Juvie. So John, talk about.
Damn.
Yeah. So talk about like how did you end up being JR from Juvie?
I was your roommate and you saw me practicing Kali in the living room.
And I said that guy needs to be in a movie quick.
I was like, whatever.
Put that guy in a movie.
John, man, he's
You in the next room.
So intense.
You knock on your door. It's a go time.
And I didn't have to, Joel. I didn't have to ring John's doorbell because he really lived next to me. So you know, so he can't hide from me. He couldn't hide from me.
I know he's home.
John, was that your first acting gig?
Oh, actually, yeah, I think it was. No, I acted Pat in the PCN.
Oh.
That's when I met Pat. I acted for him in the PCN at USC. So.
The talent pipeline, man. PCNs.
Yeah. PCNs and churches. We don't really know church groups, churches, PCNs. That's the end for the.
I think my biggest annoyance about being in the film was the fact that people were like, "Oh, do you know Filipino martial arts?" And I'm like, I feel like insulted they have to ask, or like.
See it?
Just give them the look, John. Just give them the look.
Just give them the look. Yeah.
Just give them the look.
No. Those are all raving moves. I go to raves.
Glow sticks.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
How was it? I mean, working with Carlos here. Did you, Carlos? You were the coordinator. You were stunt coordinator. Like you were choreographing that fight scene with John, right, Carlos?
Yeah, I was choreographing a lot of it.
Was it easy working with John?
Yeah, it was easy working with John, but a lot of the stuff was ad-lib, and then there were the times that, you know, where I got struck and hurt in the hand.
Oh yeah. We saw that in the outtakes.
Yeah.
It's like, ow!
Yeah.
And then there was that one scene with Joel where I don't know, I hurt my tailbone or something.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I think we tried a wrestling move there, and you got the knee to the tailbone.
Oh yeah, that's right. I tried to give you like the Stone Cold Stunner or
something like that.
Pull your beanie down.
Yeah.
and then I landed on your knee.
Ow. Oh yeah.
You know, you ain't no stunt man, right? Come on.
Yeah, your guys' play fighting, I gotta say, was pretty good, but I can see some parts of the footage where, like, you guys, definitely, like, hurt yourselves, you know?
Oh yeah, you guys got serious. I mean, I don't. Jerry, and did you guys ever have a real like? Do you remember during fighting this scene here? Like, was there any like you really like got pissed or anything? I don't remember this part. Jerry, Joel, or
Where?
fighting scene, like fighting, or Jerry's gone. I'm just saying in general, like fighting, like every time we're doing play fights, was there any moments where you felt like, or Francis, you know, like you got real, like you got mad and you wanted to just punch him, or
Did
Philip,
get
you
mad
know?
at Francis one time?
Yeah. I mean, me and Philip always got.
Yeah.
I mean, when we do play fighting, he got really real. You know, I think part of it is just if someone hits you a lot harder than you're supposed to. I mean, your counter is to just hit harder. So some of those play fighting actually gets pretty real. So
You know what? I'll actually have to agree with you, because remember that scene at the end with Jarrett, God rest his soul. Yeah, he was actually choking me. I was like, that's what so why do you chill, bitch? I was like, you're actually choking me. Like, legit choking me.
Hey, Carlo, did you and Carlo Ricafort, didn't you guys go at it during the garage scene?
Yeah, there was.
I don't think so.
There was actually one time we were, it was like Bruce Lee versus like Chuck Norris going on there.
Right, you guys were going. I remember that you guys were going at it in the garage because you guys were both doing martial arts during that time, and I don't know what happened. It got pretty heated, and you guys started fighting. You know.
I don't remember that. Wow. Yeah, I don't remember.
I was gonna bring my my bolo. About to get real. About to cut you.
Your balisong.
Balisong, yeah.
Oh my god.
That was fun times. That was fun times.
Yeah,
That was the time we used to take karate too. Right?
Yeah.
We were
During
so
that
into like karate. You know, we all had different styles of like we would like meet up every weekend and to see who's what did we learn over the week.
Yeah.
Taking traditional karate. Francis is taking like Wing Chun or something.
Let's try this on this week. With
Jeez.
So I guess this is Richard's scene here playing Zeus. I think it's safe to say that everyone actually does come back for Lumpia 2. That's not spoiling anything big, I think, but this scene here. So this whole scene here for this movie on this third act was actually rewritten. I don't know if you guys remember the original version of this movie. Maybe we should talk about that. Francis, Carlos, do you guys remember what was the original version of Lumpia?
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah,
It's not like this, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I remember it being it was like a final scene between Carlos and Ed.
Yes, yeah, you're right. You're right. Like the whole movie was actually created so that we take advantage of the two black belts that we knew, which was Ed and Carlos. And so I've always wanted to have this climatic scene where Edward and Carlos would just go at it. So in this case, it would have been Kuya and Tyrone. And so you build this up where he's beating him up, and then we never shot it. I guess in '96 we never really shot that. We just we ended up just shooting what we could and then shelving the project. And then when we came down to reshooting, I guess for me it was kind of figure out, okay, what am I really trying to say with this wacky movie, And so I kind of rethought everything and then changed Kuya's mission. So Lumpia Man here is more of a not protector or just trying to pick sides. He was more kind of like a peacemaker. So you never got. So the irony is we never get to see Ed, Tyrone, and Kuya ever fight. That was the weird thing. And there's the Jack in the Box egg roll right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember that scene. It was, even though it wasn't a physical fight between me and Ed, but I thought, when we were acting it was very, very emotional from what I remember. Just us talking to each other and just screaming each other back and forth. I thought that was pretty,
Yeah, he totally hurted you with his words. That he was trying to make you. He was trying to traumatize you with his words and his. Carlos, so we should say who would have won if we had shot the original ending between you and your brother Ed. Like who do you think would have won that fight in reality? Like because you guys are both black belts, would have been just like a Star Wars duel between Obi-Wan and Anakin? It just kept going on forever.
Tell you the truth, I really don't know. But I would have to say, as a fighter, I think Ed probably would have had the upper hand since he's taller and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just in real life. But since I'm his older brother, he kind of lets me win. So
yeah. See, Kuya wins all the time. See, Kuya always will.
That's right.
Brother. Yes. Yes. We're both older brothers, so we get it. We get it.
Be like Daryl. As usual, I feel that I will deserve most of the credit.
We're throwing the inside jokes now. No one was going through all these old Kid Heroes Ginelsa presentations. So this is moment right here. We're at the this mall. The shopping plaza was built like after we shot in '96. So the Jollibees just came. It was the first Jollibee in the United States, right? That came in after we shot in '96. I think it was like '97 or '98 that. So we actually came back when we shot this in I think 2000. I think this scene that we let's just shooting there just because it's a pretty. Like, this is across the street from my high school. And man, I can just imagine if that Jollibee existed if I was going to high school at that time. And I'd be all up in that spaghetti joy, chicken joy every day.
Spaghetti and hot dogs.
Yeah. Do you remember this? Francis, this is a big monologue here. And then, of course, Carlo wearing the goofy hat.
Yeah. I think that was one of the last. I think it's one of the last shots that we made, right? I remember.
Yeah.
I was 22, I think 23 when we filmed that, and then I think the next scene after that is when I was back to 16 or 17. So it's a huge difference.
I remember shooting this a couple of times. Where like I only had to use like one line, and it took us like what?
Well. The thing is, we hide Philip here. He's not here anymore. But man, because he got a growth spurt. He had a growth spurt in this scene. Like in 3 or 4 years that passed. So we hide him pretty. Like he's in a hood here because like I only showed Costancio and Jart in this scene, but Philip is there on the left side, and we hide him because he just looks so much different now. He's like grown.
A giant.
He's a giant now. But that was the whole thing of the continuity errors. We still kept going, like I think we wanted to shoot that. Even this scene here, this is a Beth and when like another late scene here. We're trying to.
So this came after you guys had.
This is all like I would say 99, 2000, I think, or something around that. This is like
near the end.
The original ending.
2-3 years. This is not part of the original ending because. And I I'm glad we didn't shoot the original ending because Beth would have to really like stretch. She would have been that damsel in distress, like don't beat up Moon, no, get up, stop. Like it would have been so hard to watch that scene and to make Beth act that like this was perfect though. This was a much better ending. Than the typical,
we're gonna do this Spider-Man Brooklyn Bridge thing, where she's hanging
hanging by the thread. Beth, what goes in your mind when you see this scene, Beth? Do you remember?
I remember the lumpia that Francis had that day.
They had, right?
Yeah, they just had like corn and shrimp that day for some reason. It was nasty.
That's right. I remember that. That's right.
This was like one of the last scenes that we did.
Yeah.
What was the last shot for the film? What
I think it's the comic book one. I mean, the opening, the comic book was the very last one. And
that's the official close. That's
maybe
the
AJ's scenes, but everything that was in LA. The party scene was one of the major ones that we shot because we had to go back. We shot that party scene right before our world premiere in 2003. So I remember that party scene. We had to pick up some shots. We got some of our friends from the debut and from San Francisco State, and just a lot of we kind of just and we went back to Carlos and Ed's garage, and we shot the party there. That's why that garage party is like a mash of like different eras.
Packed.
You have to fill up that garage, man. You have to...
Just like a real garage party with everybody coming in later on.
So there's ending credits and our bloopers. I mean, I don't know if there's anything from the audience we want to ask. I mean, Matt, you're still here. You have anything? I mean, thanks for joining us, Matt, from Houston.
Yeah.
How was it? How was it? How do you feel being part of this?
Yeah. I was just really listening to everyone's, because, I was really curious hearing what everyone was feeling about. I'm just watching here and listening, but one of the things that I was really curious about was how comfortable was Tyrone, with saying the N-word like throughout the film.
Yeah, that word is. I mean, me and AJ we debated about this a lot. Was because I think in this version there are multiple versions of this. There's a censored version and there's the Bastos version, which I think is the one that the film festivals released. We still censored the N-word, so we still censored that, and there's another word that I didn't want to repeat, but we left all the S and Fs and all that stuff. But that word, it was hard, and I still felt uncomfortable, but that's how we were, that's how kids were back in the day. It's not.
It is factually accurate to Daly City in the 90s. There we go.
Yeah, that's how I was, I was taking it in as a, kind of like a time thing where that was a thing back then.
Yeah, and like George Lucas, I always go back and like trying to re-censor things or add things into his film.
This is the way it was meant to be.
Did you discover
anything? It would make more sense
new?
if you had Snoop Dogg playing in the background in the off tape. You'd like, oh, I get it now, because he's always like,
Yeah. I mean, this is great. This is great, y'all.
I wonder if the movie took place in Texas, in Houston. I wonder how much different it would be. Well, like, do you have your own version of Lumpia over there? Like, what would the story be if you had to just pitch the story? Like, how different would it be?
Would the lumpia smoked as opposed to fried?
It would, it still has to be a lumpia, but of course, the scene would be completely different. There wouldn't be any hills or anything like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. You see the horizon in Texas. You can see the horizon line. It's crazy. It's like flat.
Yeah, it's like flat.
Yeah, like I would believe the world is flat if I lived in Texas. I would not believe that the world was round.
That's why it's still a conservative state. No, just kidding.
Instead of a garage party, it would be a good feel after party. Would that be it?
Yeah. I think people still do it, but there would probably be like a kolache party or a kolache movie or something like that. I don't know if y'all have heard what a kolache is. It's basically like it's like a bread. It's like a hot dog or a sausage wrapped in bread.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's
like a pig in a blanket or something?
Yeah, like a pig in a blanket.
You should make that movie.
I gotta hook you all up with a kolache.
You should make that movie. I think you have that should be the name of the movie.
We found another sequel.
Fake meat.
And then like you'll blow everyone away, like, oh, this is the poor side of Houston, and it's like bigger than any house in California. That's the poor side. Those houses are huge.
Yeah, but like between me and the Filipinx artists of Houston, we're definitely gonna bring out something for y'all to see.
Awesome.
Hopefully in the near future.
Love you guys.
Nice.
Right now, this is a sneak preview. I mean, if you guys have already seen it, if you've seen the links for the festival, you already seen this preview. So this is our sneak preview of Lumpia with a Vengeance, Lumpia 2. I don't know if you've seen it. This is obviously we're watching it right now. Have you guys seen this yet? I'm sure. Well, I'm talking to my cast and crew. They've seen this, but so this scene actually we chose this scene because this actually is related directly to the first movie. Ed's not here. I wish James was here, but while we're watching the scene, I mean, let's thoughts on the sequel, you guys. Like shooting the sequel, I guess. Like how? I mean, you talked about how different it was, but do you feel How are you guys feeling? I mean, it must be weird for a movie that we shot so long ago that now there's just all this hype for the sequel.
Yeah, it's a little surreal. Like going back to the old school and seeing all the things that are just different. It's not the school that we went to. It's totally different. I don't know.
And it's funny because like one of our Lumpia cast members actually works there in the school. That's where we were able to access the high school. John Falabella, if you're out there, love you, John.
Fun, I think.
He's online, John. Yeah. So this scene is we're revealing the scene. I don't know how people feel watching this. I know it throws people off that it's not homemade anymore. This is a spoiler of a scene here. We don't reveal who this person is, and I'm hesitant to reveal who this person is, but this is a kind of the sneak preview. We chose this. It's not the mix is not final, the color correction is not final, but it kind of gives you the return of Ed's character Tyrone. I wish he was here so we could talk about like just reprising his character again. And we have Joey Gila over there, the comedian, playing the mayor. Of course, we have James taking over the role of Philbert.
And doing a great job, by the way.
Yeah.
And there we go. Boom! What happened? Oh my gosh. There's a school shooting. All right. That was a tease. So then we just showed a trailer. So I look, this has been an amazing experience through the watch party. We're going to continue talking, but I'm just going to say what's going to happen. Myself and AJ, we're going to have to jump into another Zoom call. We're actually going into the Los Angeles Asian Pacific Film Festival Q&A. You can stick to this feed. I'll get you guys enter this call, but you can also go to the Visual Communications website. Someone can put in the link there, just so you can see the official view. Marie Jamora and Cinema Sala is going to be doing Q&A. And if you haven't seen the movie yet, the movie actually expires in 20 minutes. So if anyone, I don't know if the movie expires if you just get in or if they're going to shut down the link. You can still watch the first movie, for free until I don't know what's going to happen in the first movie. It's going to be DVD at that point. So anyway, so that's the, just stand by, guys. Cash, if you can, last moments for, I think Matt is going to be here. Anything, AJ, should we add anything? Or what's going on? Want to add anything, AJ? It's too busy.
No, this is a lot of fun. I mean, it's nice, seeing all you guys here together, and just I love hearing all your stories and just seeing, all the memories you guys shared together. So this is fun to do this. So thank you.
Do you have any last minute questions we can ask until we have to run off here quick? Anything?
Can I ask one real quick? So what's the runtime of Lumpia with a Vengeance? Official runtime.
It is 100 minutes. 100 minutes.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not totally, but yeah, it's getting there.
Packed with awesomeness.
So Pat, is there any timing wise in terms of the release of this? Is there any?
Yeah, I think we've already discussed that the premiere was supposed to be this month. The San Francisco premiere was supposed to be last weekend, but everything is all tied into the pandemic right now. And so well, we felt blessed that we got accepted to several film festivals, but even then, who knows if the timing of this, where our world premiere was going to be. It was originally supposed to be in Los Angeles, but other festivals could probably jump in, and who knows. I have my preferences, and I don't know what I can say, but I think at the meantime, I think this is good. I'm glad, in a way, look at the silver lining. I'm glad that we were able to kind of, we had more time to breathe, more time to kind of polish the movie. AJ's relieved, and then, but also to reconnect with everyone here and do these Lumpia casts. And this is the whole point. I think I'm thankful to people who watched the first movie this whole week. I've been bombarded with press and just people who've been messaging me who watched the first movie for the first time. I can't wait for the second movie. I don't know if any one of you guys have been getting those reactions of people reaching out this week.
All the time. Everybody wants to know, when is the second movie going to be released? When is it? I don't know.
AJ, I'm gonna. Can you go over to that Zoom call? I'm gonna join you. I just want.
Yeah.
Just so AJ, we'll meet you guys back here at 5.
Hi, AJ.
And then in the meantime, I'm gonna make you guys hosts here quick here so that I don't leave. Let's see. And I'm gonna make Lawrence. You gonna be the host or Lisa? Lisa.
Sure.
Or Lisa, I'll make you host, and you're co-host.
Yeah.
Lawrence. All right. So anyway, like I said, just stick to this live stream or head over to so you guys have to kind of head over. Stay on this meeting. So I'll be jumping back at 6 o'clock after the Q&A. Jump back here and we'll say our goodbyes. All right. So if you guys want to stick around, we'll be back after at 6 o'clock on this feed. So in the meantime, we're gonna go take a quick commercial break, and we'll see you guys back at 5 o'clock. To stick to this live stream, and yeah, we have a Q&A with Marie Jamora, filmmaker of Cinema Sala, and I'll be with myself and with Asia. So have more questions, we'll do that. All right.
Good deal.
All right, guys, and yeah, we'll see you guys soon.
All right. Cool.
All right. I'm taking off, but bye, guys.
Kamusta kababayan ko? All my sexy panoys and panay.
Welcome to Fogtown, where over 60% of the population is Filipino.
Can you confirm that the restaurant incident is the work of the so-called taquito man?
What? This is the taquito everyone is talking about? It's not a taquito.
It's lumpia, the Filipino egg roll. The motives of the lumpia man are still unknown.
Lumpia man knows we're selling out Fogtown High.
What I tell you about these kids? Love that. Lumpia! And love that. Lumpia!
Your sniper took down the mayor as planned.
My henchmen are trained to be 100% efficient.
Is that the egg roll man?
Nah, it ain't him.
Go, 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 go! Hey, you can't eat that. Remember me? You're my hero.
Now's not the time to change the plan.
What plan?
What the?
Please tell me you're a good guy.
It's too Filipino.
It's like soy sauce and salsa getting married.
All together in harmony. Screw your mama's wedding. Fight the bully. You're all wrong. It's all because of this damn Lumpia man.
It took this long for me to find you. I'm not about to lose you, baby. You can be sure I love you forever.
No more! Fogtown will remember me! Taquito Boy!
Punch like
Kamusta kababayan ko? All my sexy Pinoys and Pinays.
Welcome to Fogtown, where over 60% of the population is Filipino.
Can you confirm that the restaurant incident is the work of the so-called Taquito Man?
What? This is the taquito everyone is talking about? It's not a taquito.
It's lumpia, the Filipino egg roll. The motives of the Lumpia Man are still unknown.
Lumpia Man knows we're selling out of Fogtown High.
What'd I tell you about these kids? Love that. Lumpia! And love that. Lumpia! And love...
Your sniper took down the mayor as planned.
My henchmen are trained to be 100% efficient.
Is that the egg roll man?
No, it ain't him.
Go, 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 go! Hey, hey, you can't eat that. Remember me? You're my hero.
Now's not the time to change the plan.
What plan?
What the?
Please tell me you're a good guy.
It's too Filipino.
It's like soy sauce and salsa getting married.
Armor together and harmony. Screw your mama's wedding. Fight the bully. You're all wrong. It's all because of this damn Lumpia Man.
It took this long for me to find you. I'm not about to lose you, baby. You can be sure I love you forever.
No more! Fogtown will remember me! Taquito Boy!
In 1977, the breadbasket opened, and since then, our corner bakery has become the cornerstone in our neighborhood. If you grew up in Daly City, you most likely remember the fresh aroma and the paper bag of hot bread in the morning. It's a simple staple that can be enjoyed for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or any time in between. Our products represent the Filipino roots, community, and hospitality. You helped us create it by bringing us to your table and building memories centered around your favorite dinner rolls and sweet rolls. Today, we continue our tradition as a family-owned small business offering big value and great taste. Whether you continue a tradition or start a new one, your table is our table because you're part of the family. Welcome to the Bread Basket.
I'm the hero.
Musta kababayan ko. All my sexy Pinoys and Pinay.
Welcome to Fogtown, where over 60% of the population is Filipino.
Can you confirm that the restaurant incident is the work of the so-called Taquito Man?
What? This is the taquito everyone is talking about? It's not a taquito.
It's lumpia, the Filipino egg roll. The motives of the Lumpia Man are still unknown.
Lumpia Man knows we're selling out of Fogtown High.
What I tell you about these kids? Love that. Lumpia! And love that.
Your sniper took down the mayor as planned.
My henchmen are trained to be 100% efficient.
Is that the egg roll man?
No, it ain't him.
Go, 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 go! Hey, you can't eat that. Remember me? You're my hero.
Now's not the time to change the plan.
What plan?
What the?
Please tell me you're a good guy.
It's too Filipino.
It's like soy sauce and salsa.
All mixed together.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Marie Jamora, filmmaker and founder of Cinema Sala, which is a screening workshop series that showcases Filipinx work from the film and performing arts industries. Happy Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and welcome to the first ever Los Angeles Asian Pacific Film Festival virtual showcase presented by Visual Communications. From celebrating our histories and cultures to mobilizing our communities to be socially and politically active, we present the virtual showcase to keep us connected. This showcase is brought to you by our partners at Comcast, NBC Universal, Sony Pictures Entertainment, Nielsen, HBO and Warner Media, National Geographic, and for more info, please visit vcmedia.org. Welcome to today's program. Cinema Sala presents Lumpia! Lumpia! This is a homemade cult classic, which we've been waiting 17 years for the sequel. We have the filmmakers here. Please turn on your cameras, AJ and Patricio. I also have Lumpia here, made fresh for you guys. So please forgive my crunching. A big thank you to Filipinx Artists of Houston and Pangeekery for being our community partners for this program. So I'm going to brag about our guests today. So Patricio Ginelsa, do I say your last name? I say it the Filipino way. Is it Ginelsa?
Ginelsa, yes, you got it.
Okay, sorry, I'm saying the Filipino Ginelsa. Patricio Ginelsa is the writer, director, and producer of Lumpia. He's also an associate producer of another Filipino-American classic, The Debut. Ginelsa has also directed over a decade's worth of music videos, including the Apple song for Black Eyed Peas. His past and present work shows that representation matters, long before this phrase became a hashtag. AJ Calomay is the co-producer of Lumpia. Calomay has produced a decade's worth of indie projects, such as music videos for Black Eyed Peas, Bamboo, and Rocky Rivera. As an editor, Calomay has worked on various unscripted and long-form scripted shows, such as Mr. Robot, Covert Affairs, Speed Racer. Calomay's latest release project is Hunters on Amazon, executive produced by Academy Award winner Jordan Peele. So, yes, guys. So you just came from a watch party on Facebook, and is that still going on right now?
Yeah, say hi to everyone. You're also being broadcasted on the Lumpia Live webcast.
Yes. Wait, AJ, I cannot hear you. I think you are muted.
Okay, there we go. Hello?
What did you say? Sorry?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, we got a little double stream happening right now. So yeah, I just came off a watch party. It was great. You know, we had the whole cast there and crew. It was a lot of fun. So thanks for having us here, Marie.
Of course. I always love starting these conversations with origin stories. And since your films are very like rooted in kind of a comic book folklore, I think it's very apt. So I want to know, with you, Patricio, how did you realize you wanted to become a director? And you, AJ, how did you know you wanted to be a producer and editor?
I mean, I started being a filmmaker at 12 years old. I just got my dad's camcorder and started shooting the kids in my Daly City neighborhood, Daly City, California. And
Was it the same camcorder you shot the film at, the Video 8?
Same type, yeah. I mean, those Video 8 cameras don't last too long, and so yeah, I started with my dad's camcorder, and obviously I started with I think I was shot with my uncle's camcorder, and it was always a hobby to me, and I didn't really pursue filmmaking seriously until I watched Boys in the Hood from John Singleton, and I remember that moment. I watched that with my church youth group of all groups, and I remember that was the first time I was so impacted by that film, and I remember sitting in that movie theater and just while when the end credits rolled. Everyone else just, my whole youth group kind of left, and I was just still watching. It was the first time I actually watched it in credits for a movie, I think. And I just remember remembering just how, like, wow, this exists. Like, this is happening in here in California. And I was just so, and I basically just wanted to know who the filmmaker was, and it was John Singleton, this 21-year-old. I wanted to learn everything. Like, if this, black filmmaker was able to, make a movie about his neighborhood, I figured, why not of my neighborhood? And so, I researched him. He went to USC Film School. Had no idea USC Film School was like, where George Lucas and all these other Hollywood folks came from. All I knew was John Singleton went there, and I wanted to learn everything. And so that USC immediately became my dream school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, for myself, I mean, I got into editing as a kid. We'd watch with my cousins and I, we'd watch skateboard videos, Bones Brigade, all those Pal Peralta videos. And then later on, I also played piano for 8 years. So I think that sort of like kind of gave me a sense of tempo and timing and that kind of thing. And so I didn't do so much in high school, but later towards college, I started filming events for the Filipino Club and sharing all our stories there. And that's sort of where I kind of got the bug and to do it more, because everyone enjoyed watching, what I put out there, what I edited. And this is still me editing with 2 VCRs, because that was the method I was familiar with when I was a kid. And then around, I think like 96 or 97, we invested in a computer with a 9 gig hard drive, which was huge. And we started editing on Premiere. And then, but it felt right to me, because I was never really more of not so much a writer, but more like I was giving ideas, so, and then people will put it together. So I enjoyed sort of sharing my ideas, and then taking what was there and being creative with that. So it was sort of a good fit when I met Patricio, because he had, all this footage. I mean, we'll talk about how we met, but yeah, as far as my editing path, I mean, it felt like a good fit for me. I was a little bit more behind the scenes and just, like to work on my own, I guess, but I love being creative that way. So.
Was there a movie, just like Patricio said, that there was Boys in the Hood and he was watching the credits as a filmmaker? Was there a movie where you were like, this is editing, like, I want to do that?
I guess Pulp Fiction, because that came out, it was a wide release, and the way it was put together was nonlinear. So I thought, this is different. And that sort of set me on the path to watch other films, once we got cable, I started watching, Independent Film Channel. I mean, later on, and then music videos back then. So a lot of the 90s music videos, the Mark Romanek music videos, David Fincher music videos. I love the style and the storytelling of those. So I was like, okay, I like this. I like the style. So, and then, French New Wave. I was like, okay, this is like pretty extreme, but I see what they're doing here with editing. They're like making it a point to show the editing here. So yeah, so I'd say Pulp Fiction's kind of started off, and that sort of set me on the path.
That's great. Patricio, your film it's an action comedy, but it tells a story of intergroup prejudice, where you have this group of Filipino Americans picking on the FOBs, which are the immigrants in high school. And I mean, how did you decide that you wanted to be that genre? And how did you decide you wanted Lumpia to be the weapon of choice? This is fascinating for me.
I mean, definitely. I mean, Lumpia started out as a reunion movie. It was basically, now that I was in USC in film school, my first year, I went back home for that summer, and I said, kind of wrangled up the old neighborhood kids together, and we said, hey, let's shoot a movie together. just for the hell of it, because I figured I was a better storyteller. I had a kind of a rough script. And I chose the action comedy because we wanted something fun. I mean, obviously I'm not going to do a heavy drama with my friends. That didn't sound like a fun summer to be like shooting something very heavy. And so so it's something comic book, and really playing the issue of why I came up with that story was, I think when I went to USC, there's definitely a culture shock. I grew up in Daly City, California. More people of color, mostly Filipinos. Our mayor and just everyone is Filipino. In high school, my senior class, the student body, the council was all Fil-Am, and so to go to USC, it was almost like a culture shock. I was like, whoa, this is the world I see in the movies, like Revenge of the Nerds and Animal House. Like it was like going opposite in a way. And so I kind of, in a way, was trying to find my path as a filmmaker and what kind of storytelling I wanted to do. And I think Lumpia was my first foray actually talking about what it meant for me to be Filipino and the difference between being Filipino born and Filipino American. I think that was one of the things that I kind of sense the differences now that I look back in high school and saw the different pockets of Filipinos, because there were so many of us. And I just thought that was such a unique thing to do in a different kind of conflict. And so that's where it started. I know eventually I did want to go, I know I could go deeper into that, but so when it came down to, superhero, and I just wanted to see Edward and Carlos, who are both black belt martial artists. I really just wanted to make a movie, so in the end they just kicked each other's ass. That's really what it was. To make a movie that somehow the characters you build in the end just end up in this cool, like action-packed, fight, which eventually the movie didn't end up becoming.
So what, like you said, you were, all your friends. I want to talk really quickly about the casting of the film, because you have the fobs and you have the gang, and everyone is so authentic, and you have, obviously, did you cast them because everybody was that person? Did you write the characters for everybody? Or was there any kind of casting process where kids were like, can you put me in your movie?
It's funny, we were just talking about this at the watch party. I think a lot of it was typecasting. A lot of it was, I wanted to write roles that, obviously none of them are professional actors, like something that they can, play. And with Ed and Tyrone, I mean, he's definitely not Tyrone, but it was easy for him to play that role. And the hardest part, the casting really, that required actual casting, were all the female parts, because this was such a guy thing for us. It was just us guys shooting movies. And so when it came down to a cast of love interest or even a group of women in high school, like we didn't know. I mean, we had a sister, Lee Kabadik, who always played the mugging victim in our old childhood movies. But obviously this was a bigger role. So that was the hard part of casting. And yeah, it was just us. Look, if we knew that this movie would turn out the way it is, we were just doing this for fun. If I had told them, oh, we're going to put this in a film festival, and 17 years from now, we're going to have a Q&A session at this film festival, and look back, I don't think any of us would even make this movie.
Because there's a joyous quality to like how you guys made it. You could tell that everyone is having fun, and of course, like being from Manila, my heart is with the fobs always, and I'm sure you have audience members like that. So like, I really my favorite characters are Jart and Constancio, especially in their karaoke montage. Hoping, and we'll get to this later, but the second film has some sort of brings that a little bit back. So I want to talk. AJ, you mentioned this earlier about how you guys met. So did you guys meet after the film was shot? Like, I would love to know how you guys started collaborating with each other.
Yeah, so Pat started shooting that like 96 or 97 or something, and then
96, yeah.
we met around 99. So I had just graduated at UCLA. Pat was at USC.
The other school.
And rival school, the better school here. I had actually came across his website that he did for his Filipino club, and it felt like
GeoCities website.
GeoCities website, it felt very like do-it-yourself. I'm like, it looks like this guy like designed everything on this website, and he had this whole like Troy Phi the movie, which was a Filipino club at UCLA, and I was sort of doing the
USC,
thing.
hello.
Oh yeah. Sorry, at USC, and then I was doing the same thing at UCLA, and then so I was like, all right, what's going on here? I got to meet this guy. So a mutual friend of ours introduced us. I'd went to a Filipino cultural night show that he directed, and I thought it was pretty different. This is something that thematically was different than I had seen other shows. I was like, oh, this is that guy that has that website. Okay, so I got to meet him.
What was the show? Can you just like expound? What was so different?
Well, it was.
What was the conventional? Yeah, and what was?
It was called Miss Teen Raffle Ticket, and it was about those Filipino associations having their daughters like sell raffle tickets to become Miss whatever of that association. And yeah, and there was there was some pretty big plot twists in there that I thought were pretty bold. So I was like, okay, this guy, and coming from UCLA, ours was like singing, and you had this like serious story. I was like, wow, what's going on here? All right, and so I kind of like that, and then we eventually ended up meeting through a mutual friend of ours, Jamie Buan is her name, and yeah, it was at this event called Friendship Games in
Spuff.
99.
Remember Spuff? Spirit, Pride, Unity, and Friendship.
Yeah, where all the Filipino American clubs or the Filipino clubs get together and play picnic games, So yeah, it went from there, and then you brought up the movie, and it felt right to me, but yeah, that's how we met, and then later on, once we started staying in touch, she told me about Lumpia. So.
Patricia, did you know that AJ was an editor by that point? Like, was there kind of like a competition going? Like, it sounds a little bit like there was a little friendly competition.
Well, I mean, look, the guy's from UCLA, so I don't think at that point I ever had friends from UCLA, and so the way this rivalry works, it builds you up to like hate each other. But I think it's just unique that me and AJ end up being partners was because the fact that I'm from San Francisco. I'm a Giants, Warriors, Bay Area team fan. He's a Lakers, Dodger fan. He's from UCLA. I'm from USC. We kind of prove that rivals can become, best friends and, just really good collaborators. And I think, I didn't know he was an editor. I mean, Jamie, a common friend, told us we needed to meet. Like, you guys need to meet. I don't know if she noticed something in both our talent or abilities or whatever, but she's the one that connected us. So, and when I found out he was editing, he was part of the video production company called Bahay Video, which produced all those culture nights. It was rare to meet people who were in the community who were into video. From my perspective, I even in Daly City, what made me unique as a Filipino American was that I was a filmmaker. Everyone else was a DJ in Daly City, and so for me, picking up a camera was unique. And so to go to LA and meet other, someone else who was also a filmmaker and Filipino, I gravitated to it. I think it was, I don't know, not love at first sight, but it was definitely, like, we connected definitely when we first saw each other. Yeah. At Friendship Games, I think that's, Friendship Games, it's like, you can't script this any better.
That's a great origin story, too. Okay, so, Pat, with the original Lumpia film, how many days did you guys shoot? And, like I want our audience to be inspired to like how to make a homemade movie. Like, so how many days, how much did you spend, and it was all on Video 8?
It was all on Video 8. I mean, the initial summer, we had a script, and I was, obviously we only had that summer to shoot before I had to go back in August. And so, but again, my friends, they were all doing it in their free time. This is just having fun. And I never finished shooting that summer. It was all on people's free time. I mean, we joked about it because they had no idea what call time is. Call time was like ringing a doorbell. Hey, Francis, are you home? Can you give them a call? So a lot of it was, and we were kind of used to it because that's how we shot our neighborhood films. But in a way, I wanted to keep it a little more serious to the point where it was like, okay, this time we'll have a boom mic. We're going to capture really good audio. So we got a hockey stick and put a karaoke mic in there. Like, this is our boom mic, my brother, I have to give him credit because he was my partner. We made movies together. And so in a way, I kind of dragged my brother to help me shoot it, and there was this kind of like his job was really to wrangle everyone, and how again, we never finished shooting it, and so it was one of those things that never shooting it this summer, because we only shot like 2 acts of that movie that first initial summer, and I just shelved it. They didn't really think anything of it. I wasn't planning to really release it the way it was. I think what happened was when I saw AJ, and when I met him, I just gave him the footage. He edited it into this like this really kick-ass trailer, and I saw the movie in a different light. I was like, oh my god, looks really cool, and I made it, you know. and then that's when we said, oh, you know what, let's finish this. And so we wrangled in the years after '99, and this is 3 years already after we shot that movie, so we had all this footage. So in the next years following, while I was on tour with the debut, we just kept editing the scenes. A lot of people responded to the trailer. I think that was the one thing that motivated us. People didn't realize that trailer was an actual movie. They thought it was just made specifically for that trailer, and I think, and then this is all pre-YouTube, of course. And so when that trailer, which was on a VHS tape, was passed along to all the different folks and different festivals, it just sparked all the, wow, the people are waiting. So I kind of like, hey AJ, people are waiting. You got to do this. And we don't know how many people are really waiting for this movie. And then that's how we wrote the script. We got the people that was the movie looks the way it is because we had so many continuity errors because everyone grew up, growth spurts, haircuts. I mean, but we had to finish it. I felt like we did what we could to finish it, just to get to the finish line. And I think the most important part was really, just to put ourselves out there. Like, let's just do it. Let's just finish it. I mean, we have 2/3 of the movie completed already. Let's just,
For me, the only time I noticed that it was shot, there was like a time difference, was when Kelly had braces and she didn't have braces. And I was like, wait a minute. She had braces.
But that was a dream sequence. That was a dream sequence, so we cheated a little bit. So it was like really a dream sequence.
Yeah, but that's like, I mean, I feel that, when the story is good, you don't notice, you forgive continuity errors. It's something similar with another very, like another cult classic from the Philippines, Rock and Roll. That was shot over a period of years as well. And you do notice the actors with the haircuts, but you just forgive it because it's a good story.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to have a few questions from our audience. And, they're very hard-hitting questions. Justin Ricafort's question is, how many total lumpia were eaten in the production?
AJ, we've been asked this question so many times. I think you should tackle this one.
I know. Shoot, man. How many was it? 70?
No, we always reverted because we don't. The story behind the lumpia was that my brother would cook it. So the morning, sometimes we didn't even know we were shooting until that afternoon or that morning. And so my brother would wrangle the lumpia, and then we always joke around because we didn't. It's hard to make fresh lumpia and keep it fresh. My brother would cook it that morning, and the ingredients he would use was all these leftovers from the kitchen, And then his special ingredient for the lumpia was always the Vienna sausage because it kept the lumpia a little bit heavier and easier to throw. So he put like all these mungo beans, rice, whatever was left over, and then put one Vienna sausage whole, and then cook it really quick and fry it, and that was our lumpia. So poor Carlos, who played, Kuya in the movie, he had to eat all those lumpia. We were joking about it earlier because all the other cast members who had lumpia in their mouths, they got the good ones. We actually went to a Filipino restaurant and bought those because we had time to buy it. But poor Carlos, who had to keep eating it, he had to get the bad lumpia.
Lumpia surprise, right?
Lumpia surprise, yeah, that was a joke.
Yeah. And they were joking, there's no craft services, so like whoever got thrown the lumpia, that was like
lunch. For lunch, yeah.
And they're like, oh, thanks, take 2. Throw me another one. And then, there was one that was like egg roll from lumpia from Jack in the Box, right?
The bastard one.
Yeah, shameful.
Wait, what?
We're starting controversy here. The main hero shot of when Moon gets the lumpia in the mouth in the very last scene is not even lumpia. It is a Jack in the Box egg roll because it was shot on a Sunday, and then all the Filipino restaurants for some reason didn't have lumpia that Sunday, so we had to rush into a 24-hour drive-through and get a Jack in the Box egg roll as our stand-in. So we did have stand-in looking for the most crucial part of the scene. It was like,
It was big, so like I thought that fit adequately. Right, the lumpia grew in the climactic part of the scene, so kind of works. and there's like ridges that it's very harmful, can do more damage. So it worked.
Greg Munda asked, important question, which lumpia, prito, hubad, sariwa, or Shanghai?
Oh man.
I'm a Shanghai guy. I've always been
Yeah.
Shanghai. Yeah.
Shanghai. I mean, I can knock out like 10 easily in one sitting.
In the movie, though, the new movie, I mean, AJ had a special one that he created, right? You had a
Oh yeah,
special
I made a sinigang lumpia inspired by our lumpia cook-off that we did for our Kickstarter back then. Our chef Jan and my buddy AC has made those sinigang lumpia. So those are pretty good. In our test shoot, we had Mark Munoz eat the lumpia on camera for the first time, and he didn't know what was in it. He took a bite and he was like,
Yeah, this isn't Vienna sausage. This is not Vienna sausage.
Yeah, he was pretty impressed. But yeah, I was proud because I made it like that. I made like 15 that morning. So, but yeah, no, as far as like preference, I mean, Shanghai is great. And then, as I've gotten older, like I want more vegetables in my diet. I mean, if I see fresh lumpia there, I'll probably eat like 2. So I'll do it for me.
Will you be sharing that sinigang lumpia recipe on your social media?
I could. I actually have some in my freezer. I keep them for a rainy day. I should. Yeah, I'll make some. Yeah, AJXY. You can see it on you can follow me.
Nice. So everybody, that one. And since we're on a tangent and all the people's questions are lumpia themed, Sybil is asking, was it always lumpia or was there an alternative weapon ever considered?
No, I mean, can you imagine if it was adobo or I don't know, maybe crispy pata? I don't know. I mean, it's just lumpia just was more easier to throw. So the story behind why we chose lumpia was so the movie that actually inspired the concept was El Mariachi. It was Robert Rodriguez's film that eventually became Desperado. And so when we saw that, we were so inspired by that whole Rebel Without a Crew concept in that movie. My brother was like, "Hey, there should be a Filipino version of this guitar hero." The best we could think of was the guy with the Barang Tagalog. But there was lumpia. I mean, lumpia just felt very portable,
Yeah, it was like Shinobi, right? Sort of inspired by
Shinobi.
Yeah, Ninja Stars. Yeah. So it felt right. I mean, like, El Mariachi was ridiculous with the guitar, but you kind of bought that world. You're like, okay, I could believe it where like a guitar can shoot bullets, can be a machine gun. So yeah, why not? I mean, we have Spider-Man who shoots webs and Batman who's inspired by a bat. Why not lumpia?
Yeah, in the new movie, we go overboard with the
yeah, there's a scene there.
Yeah, we do a lot of stuff. It's weird, like for a concept that we were just messing around with when I was 17, 18 years old at the time. It's like we had to justify everything for this new movie. It was like, okay, now we got to think about how do we justify this and why is he really doing this?
Yeah.
Are there innovations to the lumpia, like double fried, triple fried, to make it more threatening, or like do more damage? Or
oh man, yeah. I mean, there's definitely. I mean, well, in the sequel, we use CG lumpia a lot.
We sold out. We sold out to the CG world.
It doesn't taste as good, but it doesn't wear out. We do have like I guess there is like sort of a stunt hero lumpia that we use over and over again. But yeah, no, as far as the innovations, I mean, we don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, there's some pretty cool innovations happening with the next movie. So.
But that's interesting. I think when we do tech specs of lumpia, we could say it was double fried or triple, or like there should be a how to make his lumpia. that could be like a whole nother platform.
Yeah, no, but it's definitely double wrapped. I mean, I got that from shout out to John Casper out there. We had double wrapped our lumpias for our You Now pop-up. So I was like, you know what? So that's what I made that morning for that test shoot. And the double wrap lumpia just definitely holds up. So
awesome. So I'm gonna do a tangent for now a little bit. Patricio, you are for a decade you've made amazing music videos, and was that after lumpia? Like how did you start collaborating with Black Eyed Peas? Especially like I think your video for the Apple song is very powerful. and obviously Bebot is a huge cultural success. So I want you to kind of talk to for us like how you got into music videos first, and how that helped you as a filmmaker.
I mean, so it really started out with me being part of the debut. I was the associate producer for that film, and one of my jobs was to drive cross country with the whole crew, and we would show the movie in different cities across the United States. So I got to meet a lot of the different Filipino pockets throughout the U.S. And it was there that I met some of the musicians and artists in these, and some of them provided songs for the debut at the time, because I was also, one of my jobs was curating music for that soundtrack. And so when I met some of these musicians, I was very, number one, I also asked if they wanted to donate music to Lumpia, because we were editing it at the time. And, since we didn't have money, I just said, hey, we could shoot a music video for y'all, because, that'd be fun. And I remember that ended up, that was me and AJ's kind of like first, we tried it with Inner Voices, and then I think it was a way for us to kind of learn filmmaking and gathering a crew, and actually work with a cinematographer, and kind of build our partnership in videos. And that's what we did. We started doing music videos for independent artists, mostly for the musicians behind the first Lumpia soundtrack. So the Pacifics, we went to Chicago and shot their music videos. That was a great thing. And we had, and then that actually caught the eye. And I guess since I was in music video mode, the Elephant album, which the Black Eyed Peas produced, that the Apple song was not a single per se, but I heard it off their album, and I was kind of inspired at that point because, long story short, that song inspired me to write a treatment for it, and I happened to know someone who knew them, who just shared it, pushed me to write this treatment, and lo and behold, management really loved that treatment for the Apple song, and so that, in a way, almost like took us to a different level, because this is our little Lumpia crew that we're just kind of like, starting out and making music videos, and now this, I got to shoot on 35mm film, with that project, and then Apple Song led to Bebot, which, was way different than work. Like, the Black Eyed Peas exploded, like, right after Apple Song with Let's Get It Started. They became global, and so working on Bebot was a total different experience. But that ended up us, working with other independent artists like Bamboo, Rocky Rivera. And I think for me as an artist, it was a way to use that platform to kind of build and develop my skills as a filmmaker and play with different genres. Because at that point, I was Lumpia, was a homemade movie, and I wanted to flex my muscle a little bit, and it got me to practice more about writing. The Apple Song, was still my favorite project because that was very, it was a different genre, and I got to play with, all my music videos are completely different, I think, and it allowed myself and AJ to kind of really, what's the word, like we were in the synergy, like the energy was, we just kept cranking out projects for, 10 years, and so the music video platform always helped us, but I could tell you that I was hungry to do a feature film. And for every filmmaker, that was always the goal, to do a feature film. And even though Lumpia 1 is technically my first feature, I really wanted to make a real movie, and for some reason, Lumpia 2 ended up being that project.
Yeah, the music videos definitely enabled us to really establish a crew, workflow, chemistry, and build a community, and it was a way for like folks who wanted to learn about filmmaking, come in, hey, help us out on set. And this is maybe like 20, 25, 30 music videos that we had done. So yeah, no, and a lot of folks who helped us on those music videos, helped us out in Lumpia and with the second movie. So, that was an incredible period because we just really built a great community that way, so yeah, it was a fun time, definitely a fun time.
AJ, you also run a Filipino pop-up called You Eat Now.
Yes.
And obviously you've been producing Lumpia for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Are you just a foodie at heart? Like, why do you do the projects that you do?
I guess so. Yeah, and it's funny. There's another short film I produced called Lumpia Campesina. So I guess I'm the Lumpia guy. I'm just drawn to projects that align with my values. And being Filipino and food is the center of our culture, brings people together. Absolutely. I mean, I want to be a part of these projects. So whether it's a pop-up, a feature film, the people involved, I want to be around it. So, and I guess that's sort of like my producing style, right? It's connecting and bringing energy together, bringing folks who I think will work well together, you know, and because I love the projects I work on so much, I feel like everyone kind of gets drawn to that, and everyone does their best. So yeah, I guess that'll kind of be on my resume somehow. You know, anything Lumpia. Maybe there's going to be a Lumpia financial planning or something. Maybe that's the next thing. Lumpia retirement services.
Romel Andaya is his question is: do you still have the original DV8 tapes with original footage, or did you use one and kept recording over it?
Yeah. So yeah, we just talked about this. There's a lost tape of actually footage. So I still have all my Video 8 original footage, which one of the main first jobs that when AJ came on board to do was to transfer all this to mini DV, right, AJ? Like one of the first jobs was to transfer all this Video 8 footage into mini DV. There's one tape that's missing because I remember shooting it and we don't have it. And it's Tyrone goes through a lot of different girlfriends in the movie, and so there's one, particularly in the locker scene. Her name was Debbie. That she's there. She's only there when she walks away, but there's a whole scene where she's talking and trying to stop Tyrone from beating up Moon Moon, and we never shot that. I don't know what happened to the tape, if it just got lost in because of moving. We just could never find that. So we never erased it. I think we were better than that because on those tapes you put the tab, that little red tab on, right? You can't erase it. You can't erase it. That red tab is on. Right? So
it's probably disintegrated now.
Disintegrated. I always thought someone stole it and has it somewhere out there. Like, I have the missing footage here of Lumpia.
Yeah, but
Video is a decent archival, like it's a stable medium. So I don't know if it will be disintegrated. Maybe that thief who stole that tape is still.
Yeah. I hope so. Yeah, no, we had but yeah, we definitely transferred the high 8 immediately to.
It wasn't even high 8, AJ. It was Video 8. We didn't even do high 8. It was Video 8. It was
that's
like
right. It was Video 8.
The lower standard of high.
Yeah. Video 8 and mini DV later, like the latter part of the shoot. That was like later towards the end. But yeah, no, we transferred it, and this is where I came in with like the organizing. Like I'd labeled the transfer tape, so we had this is back then we did log and capture in Final Cut Pro, so I had all the tapes labeled nicely: transfer tape 1, transfer tape 2, log notes. And that way we can like have nice time code across all the time code breaks from the Video 8 tapes. So yeah, that was that kind of created our masters. I still have them. I think you still have those, Pat. Those original.
Yeah, I do have it. I do have it, and I don't. Unfortunately, I don't have a Video 8 player that plays it anymore.
Yeah, I still have my Canon GL1. We can probably capture that into. I gotta get a FireWire for it.
So we might be like alienating some non people.
What? I'm gonna bring your editing? Come on.
And Asil is asking, has this film played in the Philippines? And if so, how did the audiences react to it?
Yeah. So the closest that when we premiered at Hawaii International Film Festival, I actually had to take a detour to go to the Philippines for a family emergency, and so I actually took Lumpia. The VHS tape that I had with me, a viewing copy, and I actually, while I was in the Philippines, I was trying to mail it to different filmmakers there to see and watch it. I showed it to my cousins there, but of course, it's just a different feel. They don't get it. They laugh because it's me, it's their cousin. But I mean, it's never really officially been shown in the Philippines, and I think I kind of knew that because when I was part of the debut and it made its premiere in the Philippines. The reception for that film wasn't as much of a phenomenon it was in the U.S. So I already had this idea that Lumpia would not really do well in the Philippines, and that's just me. I don't know if it would. I don't know, but it has never officially screened in the Philippines. Lumpia 1. So.
Well, I think we should try to find a way to change that and have some sort of a double feature, because I mean, reception of something 20 years ago, I feel that audiences have changed and evolved, and I think that they would be curious to welcome what Filipino American culture is and how it's different from something that's from there. So I think, anyway, anybody out there who...
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah,
The
we've always
editors-
wanted to do that. It's just, yeah.
And the eventual distributor of the Lumpia with a Vengeance, maybe that's a good plan.
Rights are available. Rights are available.
There you go. I would love to like start to promote the second Lumpia and kind of talk a little bit about it. So I know the story takes place 15 years later. For people, because we know that it's going to be released later this year. What can you share of the story right now?
So the movie does take place years later, and so we do follow the characters of Moon and Kelly, but it revolves around the fact that this Lumpia Avenger Kuya, does return to Fogtown, and he's in the middle. He finds himself returning to his old high school because of this crazy drug syndicate, underground drug trade happening among the high schoolers, and so. I think we revealed it already that Moon's daughter is the main protagonist of the film, and so she plays a big role in teaming up with our heroes to take this syndicate down. That's a good tease, right? AJ, was that good? That was good, right? Was that a good tease?
No, definitely.
Okay. I didn't spoil anything, right?
Yeah, no. And I'm sharing the first 12 minutes of the movie right here.
Yeah, they can watch it. If someone can just touch your finger, maybe the movie will magically play.
Yeah, so for those non-film production people, what you see behind AJ is what you call a timeline, and every little thing there is a cut. You see all the cuts, all the sound cuts, all the video layers of different videos, the layers of sound design are on the bottom half, videos on the top half. And as someone who edits, this is an insane timeline for 12 minutes. Like, insane.
I don't know. I see a spoiler right there. I see a spoiler right there, AJ. You got to cut that.
Yeah. That's right there is a spoiler.
And then you see something over there on that side where there's actually it seems like a long video clip. So
yeah.
You see the pacing kind of slow down for that one thing.
Yeah.
Lots of spoilers there, AJ.
Could be a winner. Could be a winner.
Could be a winner.
Yeah.
No, but I think that one thing that I would love to have you add to that, Pat, is like the kind of we know who the protagonists are, but who are the bad guys? Because I think you have some really exciting casting choices there.
Yeah, so we definitely our villains are. I like the theme is crab mentality. I mean, I think the thematic, the villain's always been crab mentality. It's something that we can all relate to. And I think we had definitely Danny Trejo was in it, so he does play somewhat of a villain. I could say villain. He's like people, villains. It's they're in the gray. They're not wearing the black hat in this film. But yeah. So in a way, the villains in this piece are kind of what are their motivations? And I don't know. I'm scared to go to spoiler territory. AJ, you got to help me out here. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean,
Gemini she's one of our main characters, right? I don't know.
Yeah. In the poster, you can see one of the main, antagonists, the woman with the lipstick, but yeah, it's almost like kind of fighting for control of the city. But yeah, as Pat mentioned the themes earlier, with crab mentality and that kind of thing. I mean, there's still sort of that intertension happening between different factions, different cliques, still within the same world. So
yeah, and it'd be interesting because if you've seen Lumpia 1, there's definitely a moment there that still resonates throughout this next film, and we did show a kind of a sneak peek preview scene in there, and you kind of see like the return of Tyrone and the kind of like coincidences of bullying, what would happen to his character. So in a way, we do kind of continue the story from this first film and try to expand on it a little bit more, what the effects of bullying are. Because I think, for me, bullying and being an underdog has always been strong themes in my work. I feel just because I myself have been bullied a lot as a kid, but that was kind of like the underlying theme, and we wanted to continue that for the sequel.
Great. Justin Ricafort asks, is Lumpia and the debut in the same universe, the Film cinematic universe?
I guess if you're talking about the karaoke scene where Joey Bisco does appear, No, I would say I would like to. She plays a completely different character in our universe. So the debut and Lumpia are definitely separate because in the sequel, Darian Bosco actually does show up, and he played Gusto in the debut, and he plays Detective Bayani in this new film. So obviously, we really gotta shut that down, right, AJ? We shut down that whole connection.
Yeah. Although he could have gone from that young punk to a cop. Maybe he could kind of see
I think it's still on character.
Yeah.
He was always tough as nails.
Yeah, definitely.
We definitely share a lot of debut cast members because we were so. I mean, obviously that was the movie that kind of like the movie that really got me to this kind of filmmaking, right? So obviously it was just natural to bring in some of the cast for not only the debut but also mixing in with the flip side and what other movies I'm mixing. Like it was important to kind of like bring in past Philam films in there as a homage.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to bring, since we talk about the debut a lot, you talked about how you traveled the country bringing, like four-walling the debut. And I was there in New York City when you had brought the film to AMC
Empire.
Times Square 42. AMC 42.
You were there?
I was
what?
A t-shirt. Unfortunately, that t-shirt's in the Philippines right now, but I still have it.
I met you earlier. You were there. We were in the same building.
So if you were selling the t-shirt,
yeah,
in the table,
that was my city.
I met you when I was in film school at the time at Columbia University. So I bring this up only because I remember that there was such an outpouring of support, and the community throughout the country really rising up for the debut, and I want to bring it to now. And there is a resurgence of there are more and more Filipinx stories coming out. Do you think that the industry, do you think the community has changed and will do the same thing? Do you think that people need to band together even more? Because at the time, kind of earlier days of the internet, now it might be more sprawled. I want to get your opinion because you were really there at that pivotal moment where the entire community really was up for the debut.
The power. I mean, we definitely have more tools now with with the internet, social media. But I think the one thing that's always, I think for me, what I've always appreciated, what I've learned the most being on tour was just really the grassroots connection. I'm not commenting and following someone on Instagram. I was actually going there and meeting the community. I think it's the reason why the Houston folks, the Filipinx artists of Houston, was involved with this because these are friends that I've still, in every city, I still kept in touch with. And that connection is very powerful to promote the film. So while I feel that there is definitely a big appetite for these kind of films, you can just see the resurgence even just in this movie. People are still messaging me watching this for the first time. There's always people who want to watch movies like this. It's just that we're not reaching out to them. How can we connect to them and let them know? Because obviously they're out there. And there are so many opportunities for us to create what I call that debut phenomenon, because that was kind of a phenomenon. It was like we were in AMC theaters, and what will it take? I mean, I think what it'll take is, we have a film coming out, Diane, with Yellow Rose, that got a theatrical release, that we got to put all our investment into that one, because those are rare opportunities. And I think it's not just the social media connection. I'm hoping, and I'm not part of that marketing team, a lot of it is hopefully doing a lot of grassroots connections, right? And I think a lot of, look, it helps us when I drove my own car from city to city and we were forced to do that. I think there are ways to go now to do that with social media and engage. And I think, look, I feel I really feel, and this happens all the time, right? Every couple of years you feel like, oh, it's going to happen, that resurgence, that Filipino-American cinema on the rise again. And it's like, it happens and just doesn't, you know what I mean? And for me, that peak, and I'm just biased, of course, because it's a debut, but I will always remember being in that lobby, the theater, and in San Francisco, in AMC, our movie, the #1 sold-out theater, beating all the other Hollywood films combined. It was completely sold out. And to the point where every theater chain wanted us because they said no before. For me, that was... it made it possible. I think it's the reason why I still want to become a filmmaker, because I want to feel that way again, and I know it's a long answer, but that's how passionate. Oh, I said a P word again. I need to put it in my passion jar. But I feel very, very, very strongly about that. You know, that it can happen again, and not just for our film, but you know, even when I hear about milestones like with Diane's film, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like a movie that can bring people together, and it's you know, about putting that work in to get something out. You know, we've had several crowdfunding campaigns, you know, going back years, you know, to just kind of constantly build an audience. So it's, yeah, Pat's right. It's like constantly engaging, talking to people. The debut, yeah, they went from schools and churches and different community organizations and talked to people and created that, you know. So we still have to put the hard work. We can't just post and share. You really have to like, you know, go in. We don't have the big advertising, you know, budget. So we have to like really go in and connect with people, do all that legwork. And yeah, I think it can happen again. I mean, and this kind of movie, you know, I think it's definitely a theatrical movie. I mean, you know, we'll see what that looks like, you know, after all this. But, you know, this is that kind of movie where, you know, people want to enjoy with each other. You can cheer with each other. So
The important part is education, though. I think that's the one thing that why I appreciate like going out there and because you want people to understand why it's important to watch this film, you know, because if they want to see more movies. So it's always that aspect that I always enjoy. Like myself and AJ, even in our productions, we love taking people in because we need to give them opportunities and have them learn why it's important to represent, you know.
Yeah.
So if there's like a call like to action for the people who are watching this, it's just like supporting and actually like doing the work. Is that part of it? Like what can the community do aside from, you know, showing up or paying? Because I always want there to be a call for action so that people know how they can help. Because what the worst thing that can happen is that it's all talk and then people don't show up, and then it's harder for us to prove that we have an audience that's thirsty for our content, you know. And right now people want Asian American content. Sorry, that's my baby in the background. She's not having it. But people want, you know, but how do we make sure this is not like a phase, like it's something that stays, and our stories, this is like one of the first steps. Sorry, guys.
Oh, it's fine. No, we can hear you, Marie.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm fine. I totally feel you.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess, yeah, I'm just kind of like trying to pick your brain as people who've been, you know, very active with the community for almost 20 years, seeing how the industry has changed, and kind of like you can say your dreams right now so that people can listen and maybe want to help change things.
You know, I know. Look, if we had money, I think the first thing I would always do to hire someone in a crew to get the word out is to hire like, you know, a grassroots coordinator, someone who's not necessarily a filmmaker. I think one of the biggest things I've always been appreciated about the experience of touring was meeting the community leaders and the activists and the different acronyms for Filipino organizations out nationally. You know, and a lot of that, I mean, including my wife, I gotta give up to my wife, Melanie. I mean, she was our grassroots coordinator, and she was connected, and a lot of it is really call to action. I mean, the best way to have other people act, right, versus just sharing a movie, is, you know, you have to show them like what you're doing, and kind of, in a way, you gotta be genuine. You know, you gotta. It's not about just supporting your own projects per se, and a lot of it is really, you know. I've lost my train of thought, AJ. I need to pass the baton to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with my approach, you know, because I've been, you know, working in post, you know, for over 20 years now, as well as working with Patricio. And for me, it's you know, I'm able to share like my knowledge, and that sort of gives me a way to bring people into my world of working with Patricio, our independent projects. But it's like investing in people, right, and caring for folks that, you know, hey, you want to learn about this? Like, oh, you have no connection to the film industry? Hit me up, send me a message. And, you know, they make their films, and then that person and their friends watch our film, you know, and, or whatever you do, you know, share with people and inspire them. I mean, there's only just a few of us and there's a few in our crew, but I think, you know, by sharing that attitude of like, hey, you know, like, this is something that, you know, I care about you. How can I help you? along the way, and then that sort of built our audience. Like all the folks who have helped out with the project, I mean, those are all supporters, you know. So I just really try to like give time to folks to hear their story, help them in any way I can. I mean, it's a lot of work. I can't help like millions of people, but at least like they can all sort of like bring people in and say, hey, there's this special movie happening. You know, these guys are cool. Like, let's go help it. Or when it comes out, let's go check it out. So it's continuing to share our story, what we're doing, and knowing that, you know, this will only be as big as like, you know, our community, makes it. So.
I mean, the key is engagement, Marie. I think it's like if we keep them engaged and keep it entertaining, you know, I mean, that's always the challenge for a filmmaker. What concept can we get people excited about and engaging? And that always starts from there, right? Finding a concept that will not engage your community, but also, I mean, look, even get non-Filipinos excited about it. I think that's I think me and AJ, we've been very blessed because we've had a crew, and look, music videos we shot usually for $100. I mean, I could go through every video that we've shot in the last 10 years free. We donated a lot of our own work and a lot of our crew, and it's like, I know that's not the way it should be done in real filmmaking, but a lot of the main thing that even with this movie, we've survived on really not on money, because the money was never there. You know, we've always had to beg and plead. We've really survived on people being excited to work with us and learning from us, and I think myself learning, and AJ's his experience of being a mentor. You know, it that for us is about, you know, educating people and getting people excited. I think that's the ingredient we need. And if everyone did that, and just not for sake of an Instagram like or Facebook comment, you know, and they really engaged, I think that's the key to get people beyond, to make this phenomenon even real, right? Because you can read through a fake like or fake comment, but if someone really is really excited about something, that's me and AJ's challenge. How do we get people to be excited about this, you know?
And I think you guys are so good at that because I remember, AJ, the first time I met you, which is I first moved to LA 7 years ago. I was looking for fellow Filipino filmmakers, went to a networking event, and I forgot what the name of the bar was, but it had billiards tables and booze.
Busby's.
And you were, what was it called?
Busby's.
Yes, yes. And you were one of the first people I talked to, and you were just so welcoming, and exactly what you said. You were, you just had this energy of, hey, this is what I'm doing. What are you guys doing? And it was just a very, and soon after, I mean, obviously we became friends, and you invited us to your home. And I feel that that's how we should be as filmmakers and as a Filipinx filmmaking community. Because when we band together and we support this work, and we're like an army and a movement, I think it'll be hard for people to ignore us, especially when we have such great content being made on so many different fronts.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy. And with your film, it is a truly community made with love project. Like, it is funded by the community. You see people in the community on screen, behind the screen. And it's really like a homemade film. And Patricia, you shouldn't have a swear jar for passion. Passion jar is awesome.
Although we overuse that word so much in our thing, it's just a little in joke. we never say that word. It's like, okay.
But I mean, never be ashamed of using the word passion, because I feel that passion can move mountains and can, you know, it makes you can make the film that you have, like you've always wanted to make, and people will go out and watch it because they can. The passion is infectious. So now that you're done with the film and you're going to release it, hopefully at the end of the year, can you share a little bit of the plans for that, and what are the plans after that? Like, what are you guys working on next?
Yeah, so the movie, we were supposed to have a world premiere this year. Obviously, the pandemic has changed our plans, and we've kind of like took a breather to kind of. We had more time to polish the film a little bit more, but we hope to premiere it not online. It's because, like I said, a community screening and the theater viewing is the way to go for our film. AJ, I don't know if I'm missing anything.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what that looks like, what theaters will look like, months from now. But yeah, we're definitely polishing the movie. I mean, it looks great. You know, we have, all those little magenta things. Those are all the visual effects shots, and there's a lot of them in there. So, giving us a little bit more time to hone those and get the sound work done and music. So, yeah, I mean, as far as what's next, you know, I mean,
yeah, the biggest thing is we've been using the time off to re-engage with our supporters and our Kickstarter backers and just the community in general. I think that's for us, because I can imagine, you know, we were rushing trying to make the film for the premiere. We wouldn't have time to do what we're doing now, you know. So I think it's pretty cool that we're, you know, giving us a kind of a moment to kind of, you know, reflect back on the first films. It's been a while since I've seen the first film, and then reconnect, you know, and have other people rediscover it. I think that's the whole point of trying to promote this next film.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about being the champion of your own project, you know, and that hopefully, like, you know, not only going word of mouth, but yeah, you hopefully can, you know, attract that person that can really bring the word. Everyone has their own networks of people, you know, so yeah, I mean, if this gets, you know, once this gets out there, and who knows if there's, you know, the conditions are right for a next one. We'll see. You know, I mean, I'm still, you know, I'm still editing and TV and keeping that going. You know, but yeah, we've been on this since, you know, 2013, 2014. So it's, you know, we're almost there. Looking forward to wrapping this thing up, literally. Lumpia.
I brought little Harana here because one of the things that made me really happy was seeing her watching Lumpia riveted, because she saw other people who looked like her, like a whole cast of brown people on screen, and she was just like that. And so, you know, more power to making these stories. And I don't know, AJ, when you said the next one, I'm assuming there might be a. So
it's all about having the money, man. We definitely would do another movie. It's got to be done the right way, whatever the right way is.
Yeah, and you know, and that's like, you know, seeing your daughter there. That's sort of what keeps us going, right? You know, it's a younger generation, you know, that we want to do this for. We've had some, you know, some pretty amazing. To cry, no, but you know, some really amazing folks who have been helping us throughout the years and said some really amazing things. You know, they said they watched the movie when they were a kid and it inspired them, and so, you know, it just keeps us going. You know, no matter how hard it's been.
Yeah, we had a couple. We had a couple of crew members. Well, one crew member who watched Lumpia when he was a kid, the first one, and now was helping us out behind the scenes. And he wrote us a really touching letter about that moment that his mom bought that DVD. And so you know, it's hard. It's easy to take that for granted. Even I've had a couple of parents also telling me that they showed it to their 10-year-old kid and 9-year-old this week when it was online. And it just said that there's just the concept of, and they're into Marvel films, so seeing a you know, Filipino superhero for them was very empowering. So I think that makes it all worthwhile. You know, the stress of making a feature film when you hear stories like that and people reaching out to us saying how a homemade movie from 17 years ago has kind of, like, you know what I mean? And for us, we kind of cringe. We're like, you know, I could do better than that movie. So it's kind of crazy how even like an image of someone, even with their daughter, I saved that picture, Marie. It's a very powerful image to see.
You know, I think that it's an empowering film to see, exactly, a Filipino superhero. That's the first Filipino superhero I've ever seen on screen. So congratulations, guys. And I cannot wait to see this film, Lumpia with a Vengeance, coming out by the end of the year. Thanks so much. This is all the time we've had for the day. Thanks for sharing this film with us, your childhood with us, and then like making this new film. We want to shout out to Abe from VC, a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Abe. Yes, we love you, Abe, and thank you so much for always being in Cinema Sala and supporting us. Please follow Cinema Sala. We have very much exciting things planned in the coming months. This is our last event at the virtual showcase for this month, but we're back in June. Please follow us on Instagram at cinema_Sala and on Facebook. Be sure to check out the HBO. Yes, love. Be sure to check out HBO APA Visionary Shorts this weekend. One of them is Marty Goes Remittance, which was featured in Cinema Sala a couple years ago. It's really beautiful. Please check it out. We are revisiting the 2018 winning HBO films. All of the short films are viewable now. And for more information on visual communications, please check out the website vcmedia.org. Check out Patricio's awesome Lumpia masks, and maybe we can find out where to get those. Where can we get
It's on lumpiamovie.com. Just go to lumpiamovie.com, Facebook, Instagram, @lumpiamovie is our handle. Follow us. We have a lot of other cool stuff. So, and this one benefits the Park's Finest Feed the Frontliners project. So,
Great, that's awesome. AJ, any hashtags or plug like social media handles you want to plug?
Yeah, I mean, just follow @Lumpia Movie. I mean, I put my hashtag there or my Instagram thing there just because I like to share a lot of my editing behind the scenes and other things, cooking or whatever I'm in the mood for. But
we want to know when's the next You Week Now. I think that's what people want to know. When's the next You Week Now?
John Castro is out there. Let me know. Let's talk. But yeah, no, definitely. Follow Lumpia Movie and just keep supporting. Keep an eye out. You know, we'll keep you updated with what's happening with the movie.
Thanks so much, guys. It was great talking with you today.
Cool.
Thanks, Marie. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, VC.
Bye. Happy Saturday, Memorial Day weekend. Bye.
Memorial Day weekend.
I think we're going to go to the All right, guys. I know you guys can still hear me. Hang on tight. We're going to go back to our Lumpia Cast crew over here. What do you guys think? Oh my gosh, I am burnt out. Did you guys learn anything new? So sit back here. We're going to join our Lumpia producers and cast over here, if I kind of remember my password. Let's see. If you have any questions, go ahead, post them up here. I can see that's a long day. We had a watch party, Q&A. Thank you, Visual Communications, Cinema Sala, and Marie. That was an awesome Q&A. I definitely am, when I talk a lot, I lose a lot of energy, so I'm going to try to maintain it for the next couple of minutes as we close out this live stream. So, let's see. No, I see it here, so cool. All right, so we're going to join back here with the cast. Let's see. Who's still here? Who's still here? Who's still here? Who's still here?
Being ghost
Who's
artists.
still
I think.
here?
Hey,
Hold on. Here we go. You guys are live right now. You guys are live. Welcome back. Welcome back. You guys are live right now. So what
We're live.
What do you guys think? You guys were you guys kind of watching that or just kind of like throwing your?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys learn anything new?
We are diehard basketball fans, apparently.
James
online
Harden just joined
rivalry.
us. What?
You guys are live right now.
We were just chatting, Pat. We were just chatting.
We
What
were
was that?
bonding. We're
You were
bonding.
Who's
Yes.
still here? I don't even know who's still here. Okay, cool. Everyone's still here.
Gerald just arrived.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey, Gerald. We definitely.
Speaking of another artist.
Is AJ still come and join us? Impressions. Is there any questions? I don't know. You saw. I mean, a lot of it was repeated from the watch party. What do you guys think?
We're bonding. You're still here.
That was a great.
Everyone's speechless.
Does anyone have the live stream number? Okay.
All right. Someone definitely has the feed watching it. I can hear it. Whose microphone is that? Who's the culprit? Who's the culprit? Who's watching this 12-second delay? Let's see. It's Lawrence. It's you, Lawrence. Gerald, how you doing, Gerald?
Good. That was a good interview, man. I watched the whole thing. Congrats to you and AJ.
Cool, man. And then, I got to give props up because Gerald did draw the movie poster that ended up being our 10th and 15th anniversary. So that's pretty cool. Gerald.
Badass.
Hey, Matt, you're still here. What time is it over in Houston? What time is it over in Houston?
It's 8:10.
All right. So, I mean, obviously, once you plug in Filipinx Artists of Houston again, and I know your thoughts of just joining us for this full day before we kind of wrap up here.
Oh, I was already talking about them, but Filipinx Artists of Houston is a collective of Filipinx visual, performing, literary, culinary, and multidisciplinary artists in Houston, Texas. There you go. I was already talking about. Oh, well, like what I was telling, everyone earlier, we were kind of like really having a good bonding session. But like coming from an outsider, I was telling everyone earlier that, that folks here in Houston really appreciate what y'all have been doing and what y'all have done, paving the way for us creatives here in Houston, and I'm sure even other places that we might not know, where the movie has been shown, that it's a big inspiration, it's a big influence for us. It's like a big push and motivation for us to have like that sense of agency to just create and make and be known and be recognized for the Filipino talent. I was trying to invite one of my friends who's also a member, but yeah. No, it's actually Sybil. Hey, Sybil, say hi. Yeah. But but Sybil is more of the cinema person of the Filipinx. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm on my husband. I know. I turned.
Hi.
Hold on.
There we go.
I was chilling.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm using my husband's thing, so let me change my name. I'm not Alex Hines Jr.
Sybil, I was just saying that you are our cinema wisdom person in the Filipinx Artists of Houston group.
Thank you for those kudos, Matt. What up, Lumpia lovers?
Whoop whoop.
I have some in my freezer. I need to prito. Thanks for having me on. I was waiting in the waiting room. I didn't think I was going to come in. I didn't realize. My bad. Oh, I didn't see the watch party, but I did attend the Q&A, and I had a bunch of questions, but she only posed one of the questions. Yeah, I also asked about the Bostos version on the DVD, and oh, okay. Oh, I can't wait till we all can go to the theater again. It's still there.
So well, I was telling them that once they do the Lumpia 2, that they should do a tour here in Houston, right?
Yeah,
we're coming.
Definitely. We will blast that out. We'll brown it out. Like we
Brown
did
it out.
for what you call it? Yellow Rose, man. That was awesome.
Yellow
We blown
Rose.
it out.
And Yellow Rose was supposed to come out in April. That's why it was kind of like this pandemic hit at the time when that movie was supposed to kind of be out in theaters. So I'm hoping the studio still plans to do that theatrical release because it's important. I feel like having that community screening is. I mean, it helped us with the debut. I'm live. They can't hear me on the live stream because I muted my microphone, so I'm they can hear me now. So they only heard you guys. So you guys were like talking to
a ghost.
a ghost.
It's like hearing.
Lillian, I'm waiting for AJ because we're gonna end this. We're gonna raid our other community sponsor here, Pangeekery. If you don't know who Pangeekery is, they're the Earl's one of our social producers usually joins us, but so they have a Twitch TV Twitch account. So all things nerddom in the Pacific Asian American community. So they're our community sponsors, and we're gonna raid their channel. And I'm trying to remember how to raid a channel through Twitch. I gotta remember to do that. Lily, welcome, Lily.
Yeah, hi.
I know we didn't get to talk to you. I have to give you one of these over here.
What's that?
All right. I didn't even do that for Sybil here, so let's see.
Do that.
Yeah, you didn't go proper. And Gerald here. Gerald, who do you want to be? Want to be this one?
I'm Batman.
That's usually reserved for Lawrence.
I'll take it.
Yeah. All right. Lily, thoughts today? I know we didn't get to talk to you. So how did you think about the watch party, seeing the cast, and the Q&A?
The watch parties are always fun. I like them. I like when people laugh at the parts that I'm laughing really loudly at. And
I was gonna do the Twitch, the Twitter. You know how most people do the Twitter watch party, and I don't know how that works because you have to follow this hashtag, and that feels like so much more work than just seeing us talk.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure.
But yeah, all the community, like anytime you watch these movies with a group, like especially like Lumpia, I think it's always fun with other people. You don't feel like you're laughing at yourself, but at yourself with other people.
Oh, I didn't notice. Leroy's back here. Leroy, what's going on?
We made it.
Ta-da!
You missed out on the watch party. We missed out on the watch party.
I missed out on the party.
Yeah, we had two amazing artists here. We had Leroy and Gerald. So Leroy drew all the comics for the first movie, and Gerald is doing amazing work on the second one. In color this time. We've gone full color with Leroy. Like we were like, that's okay. Black and white's cool.
It's noir. It's noir, Pat. We call it noir. He's the Sin City version,
Are people still been watching? We did so many transferring from this to visual communications. I'm glad that this the kind of going back and forth worked, but I don't know if there are people still online watching and asking questions, or we're just kind of running on fumes now, because I definitely am running on fumes.
Lawrence has been keeping it warm.
Lawrence keeping it warm? What's going on over there in the Facebook chats? Is the last question from like 2 hours ago?
Oh, the last person is like Patricio's muted. So we got it. We got it, Anthony.
Well, I'm glad people want to hear me.
How was that Q&A?
I was going to ask you guys what do you think about the Q&A, because I feel I'm always repeating myself because I'm always waiting for that question that's going to throw me off,
What's the question that you're afraid to answer? Like you're like oh, please don't answer this. This one.
No question. No question. Like, no. Here's the question: why is James Harden right behind John Raposis's background? That's the question.
Because we had a very enthusiastic conversation about basketball.
You missed it. You missed it.
Yeah, maybe we should have been broadcasting what's happening in this Zoom session versus what's happening.
It was very revealing, very close to Oprah.
Sybil's like, oh God, what's going on here? This is not.
Yeah, what did I walk into?
Yeah, what did I walk into here? All right, there's questions here. Do you still have the? No, they asked that in the Q&A. We're going through all the questions and stuff. Like, see 12 people. Yeah, we're definitely running on fumes. I'm just waiting for how to crash this party here. So, I guess we're gonna. I don't know. Does anyone have anything to talk about? Any questions? I think we're gonna start wrapping up here. Carlos, we haven't checked in with you yet. How's it feel? I know we had the whole Lumpia stream for the first one this whole week. How has anyone connected with you, and or maybe someone you knew that didn't know you were in this first movie and now has discovered you?
Not really. It's just people who know me from work have who know that there was a streaming that they've contacted me and I've contacted them back.
Carlos, do paparazzi still follow you around?
No, no.
They will.
They will.
They will. Guarantee it. After our film is released.
You still carry that bag.
I do not. In fact, I don't know what happened to it. Pat, you still got that bag?
I have it right here.
He's waiting for the movie to release, and then we're putting it on
It's
eBay.
become my new face mask. Sybil, I know you said you had a lot of questions at the Q&A session, so I'm curious, are there any of these questions you want to ask while you have this rare opportunity in this Lumpia room?
So how did you get the distribution deal for this first one, and who's putting it out for the second one?
So the distributor, we don't have a distributor. I mean, the distributor for this first movie is actually my own company. I started my own company, Alicaway, to distribute this on my own. And only because back then, when you released this on DVD, there was this thing called consignment, and there was this thing called Tower Records at the time. That was kind of like our Leroy. Yeah, Leroy. I mean, played a big part in that. Leroy. I mean, like that. I mean, you could talk about that business, right? There were a lot more independent ones getting distribution at the time, right? And Leroy's, it's perfect that Leroy's actually here because he could talk about how Lumpia, the reception for that DVD, because that was amazing. I think when we were able to put out the DVD there when it came out over.
Yeah, it was early 2000. It was kind of like the prime years of Tower Records. Being one of the top music retailer or entertainment retailer in the world. So luckily for me, we were able to, because of the my status working with Tower Records in the Bay Area, we were able to establish somewhat a consignment with our Bay Area stores and get Lumpia on DVD out to the people, which was great because there were really no other. I mean, there were some other retail outlets where you can consign your product, but in terms of name, Tower Records was the place to be.
In Texas, was there one? Was there Tower Records in Houston? I don't know.
I think there was a Tower Records. It's no longer there. It turned into a restaurant.
know.
Now that restaurant's gone.
No, like back then there was one back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But it all worked the same way, Leroy. Like it was all like the distribution and consignments could work the same way.
Yeah, one of the things that a lot of artists were able to do is consign their product with the local Tower Records store. If you were able to somewhat connect with other stores, you can actually have your product transferred to stores throughout the country. There were some little loopholes to that. A lot of artists assumed that you could only just sell locally, but the thing is that you kind of had to make the connection out there and reach out to other stores, and if the demand is there, what we'll do is we'll work with other stores and distributing that product out there. And that was the beauty of consignments. Looking back, I wish we were able to tell a lot more artists back then, especially in the music industry, because in the Bay Area, we've had this like run of like Bay Area Pinoy artists out there, from One Voice to Drop in Harmony, and Kai, and we're very fortunate to kind of be that hub, for music back then, and stores like Tower Records were, they were that one retailer that was able to support, those artists. Of course, Tower Records was open till 2006, and then and after that, there really hasn't been any entertainment retailer as big as Tower since. I mean, you have, Best Buy and your other big box retailers, but no one did consignments like what Tower did, and because of Tower, they actually helped out so many independent artists, pretty much worldwide.
The Lumpia movie DVD was like the number one selling. I still have that picture, like the number one
Yeah,
selling DVD at that.
we were
Francisco.
like every store has their like top 20, products, music and DVDs, and Lumpia was up there for a good amount of time. I wish I could recall how many units we sold, in the Bay Area at the time, but it was really good for
Not that many because I still have boxes left in my garage, y'all. So, that's a good that's a good lead in right now. Yeah, so the DVD's on Amazon right now, the Lumpia one, and I know that you can't watch the Lumpia movie for free anymore because they closed the link. But there's a Lumpia code right now. Stay safe. If you go to the Lumpia store right now, it's 20% off. I'm plugging all the stuff, all the Lumpia merchandise, even the DVD, both versions of the DVD, the 10th anniversary version, and even the original DVD that was at Tower Records. The Tower Records edition. We'll call it the Tower Records edition. The Tower Records version.
We'll sell them at the bookstore,
Vintage.
man.
Oh, the bookstore, yes. The bookstore. Like Gerald drew the art. He's showing it off right now, Gerald. Like he drew the art for the cover one. But see, that was the whole thing, is like the consignment allowed us to do it on our own, and that was cool because it gave us the illusion that we have like these DVDs out. Can't do it now. I mean, maybe you can't. Yeah. The second movie, simple to answer your question, is that we don't have a distributor for the second movie, and that's why, unlike other independent films, we rely a lot on the film festivals to kind of create that buzz for that, so that we can land a distributor, and that's why this whole pandemic kind of scares us a bit, because we don't know what's going to happen. We definitely didn't want to release Lumpia 2 online, so there's no distributor for part 2. We're definitely holding the help for hopefully a big distributor. I mean, look, if Yellow Rose was able to do it was able to land Sony Pictures as a good deal, and we share the same producer, maybe there's hope for us. Maybe, I don't know.
How did you get Danny Trejo to be in the film?
Danny Trejo took my whole life savings.
Lots of begging, lots of crying.
Yeah, we're eating at the restaurant.
Right. He's in everything.
Mostly crying. I think it was crying.
Danny Trejo came in, and look, it's one of those stories where yes, people say no, and you get a lot of rejections in this industry, but you will never get that answer if you don't try. And so Danny was always one of those things. We wrote a role for him in our script that we always, that'd be cool if Danny plays it, but if he doesn't take it, we'll just rewrite it, And lo and behold, we got it to his team, and he said yes. But as Saturday Night Live just revealed to the world, Danny Trejo is in everything. So I'm honored that Danny Trejo.
Actually, I have the day. Yes. Actually, the day when he called, or his representative called us, and I have Pat receiving the phone call, and I actually have the moment we got the yes, and it was a game changer for us. We were shooting at City Hall at the day when it happened, and we were already planning the shoot, the rest of the shoot, and we were moving forward whether or not we were going to get Danny Trejo. But I had the actual video on my phone shooting Pat receiving a phone call. And Pat was like, he's like, it's Trejo. He's like, it's Trejo. And he started doing the listening. And there it happened. It was like that. It changed everything. The moment we agreed to the conditions. And we
He
had
entered
to
Machete's world. He didn't enter our world. We entered Machete's
we
world.
we entered his world. We had to follow what happened, and we
my
can't tell you.
follow-up question is, was he easy to work with?
I found it easy to work with.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing. Lawrence on that day, we literally like, oh, Lawrence, you deal with him.
Oh, he was the handler.
So me, actually, Lisa and I, we got a chance to go. Originally, the person who set up our other producer had set it up, and they were going to handle it. And Pat, of course, is directing and really focused. And we had a very finite amount of time, so Lisa and I wound up being the communicators to Danny. And to tell the truth, I was able to get along with him. He reminded me of my dad a lot, and I was able to tell and share that with him. And he's a really cool guy, really family oriented, and I think that's what really worked out really well. And he was all about professionalism, being ready to be on the set, and he was a sweetheart at the end when cast and crews who wanted to take a picture of him, because it's Danny, and he was really good at that. He was really warm and accepting of our cast and crew, and he stayed past his due time to take as many pictures as we needed or would like to with him. So great guy, really great guy.
I mean, it was intimidating. I mean,
oh
you
yeah,
know, it was intimidating. I mean, I maybe it's okay to admit that we didn't start off on the right foot that day with him, but I think once he saw what we were about, and this is about, when you see the crew and the people involved behind the scenes, he started understanding, and by the time the shoot wrapped, we had our moment. I thanked him. I think it's just it comes full circle where if Lumpia 1 was kind of inspired by El Mariachi, and Danny Trejo starred in the reboot of that movie, Desperado, that for him to actually now appear in the sequel of this movie that was inspired by a movie he did, I told him that means a lot to me, and then we took a picture, and yeah, it was cool. I mean, I think
that's awesome.
Yeah,
he's a great guy.
Hey, Pat, question.
Hmm.
Did he see a rough cut of what you guys have done?
That's a good question. That's something
I don't
my
think so.
producer would have to send to him. But obviously, we will see once we know exactly what our plans are for the film and when the premiere is. I mean, it's all obvious. Like it's all part of, it'll be exciting. Hopefully that when he does see it, as of today, I don't think he's seen it. Well, but I can't. I'm only speaking for myself, so I don't know if any of the people behind the scenes and other producers have. So
I still remember that, like, after I think you guys were almost done filming in City Hall for the final shots, and your countenance, your posture changed because it looked like you did get news. You looked like the whole world got off your shoulders, because me and Joy were like just chilling after one of the takes, and then you just walked over to me and said, did I tell you already? It's like, what happened? And then you said, we got Danny Trejo. And I was like, what? Yeah, you look so relieved. I mean, your face was
yeah, because it's just one of those news that you just want to tell and you can't really say anything, and
right.
So, until that first trailer hit, or that teaser announcement we sent out. I mean, look, we were blessed. Mark Munoz came in to join us, and then we had Danny Trejo coming on board, and we had even more people. I mean, yeah, those are the heavy hitters, but we had definitely a lot more people, and I think a lot of it is just it all started out with us as kids playing around, and this community has just gotten bigger, and we'll talk more about the casting and all that stuff as we get closer. It's just one of those, again, I haven't had time to reflect because we haven't even really finished lock the movie. We've had test screenings, as Gerald, of the movie, and I've actually, maybe I can reveal that we've had a kind of a test screening this week. I revealed it to a group, and they liked it, and so it's one of those things that now that the movie's out there, because there is a cut out there that the film festivals see, and I don't know who leaks this stuff, but the cut that they're seeing is definitely not the final film. But even based on the rough cut, the fact that we're getting all these really cool reactions and now reviews, it's weird, and I think even with Lumpia 1 that even seeing the response to even Lumpia 1, which I'm always still kind of like cringing every time I watch it personally, to see the reaction of it online this week, I could see all the views popping, so I kind of know already how many people have seen it each day. But in the last few days, we've gotten press from different outlets, writing about it, and it's kind of fueled even more hype for the second film. And then people, and I guess, and then again, we mentioned in the Q&A, a lot of folks show this to their younger kids, and like that empower, seeing them, you forget how that feeling, And I imagine if I was that age, watching something like this and seeing people that look like me in a superhero film, how visually empowering that would be. You forget that feeling, and so I got that a lot this week, and then that's why AJ teared. Almost cried, AJ. Where is he? I gotta make a. You almost cried on the Q&A. But that that is the reason why we do this, and then all of us can vouch how this movie, the money is never there. I mean, I still have invoices still to pay up, and people. But I think what keeps us going is the fact that, again, we're fueled by people who are hungry, right? But people are very talented that want to help out. And hopefully, that's why we brought in the folks here at Houston. They're artists. I gravitate towards creative folks like that. I mean, Sybil was there for the debut screening like a long time ago. But I mean, that itself. I remember even being at that theater, Sybil. That the AMC Studio Theater. I was amazed. I didn't realize Houston had that kind of love, even that strong of a community to come out to support, and that opened my eyes, So imagine, what the possibilities of taking that to a different level with another film, and that's what we're hungry for, right? Like, will Lumpia be that phenomenon? I mean, can people really support Yellow Rose in the same way? And they got now a studio behind them. Can that, So that's always the challenge I throw back at people. It's not necessarily for this film. There are other projects, and you have that rare opportunity. Can they? It's not about how much box office in the end. It's much about can they get that community support. I think once you get that, I mean, box office could be like worldwide, but if you don't get that community support, I don't think you have legs.
Right. And what I love about your film is how it's a period piece. And when you watch it again, you think about when you were young and how it was back then. And even with the way that the style that you guys shot it, it reminds me, it's like a memory, because that's the way everything was shot back then. Because I have a whole lot of Super 8 and High 8 that it looks just like that. So
did you finish it though, or is there some stuff sitting on your shelf that you still have to revisit, Sybil? I'm curious.
Oh yeah, I have lots of mini DVs.
Yeah, so that's a challenge. Well, we got to revisit that stuff. Finish what it'll take to finish that stuff. I think what was cool about us is that I think a lot of people are always scared to put those films out there. But again, just like with this Danny Trejo thing, this is always the running theme: is that if you don't put yourself out there and you're too scared to be rejected, you will never ever get a taste of what people. Number one, growing as an artist and seeing but like just putting yourself out there and you never know, man. People may love what you have, and we did it with footage of just video 8 footage and just messing around. I mean,
I know. That's so awesome, and you finished it.
We finished it, and it didn't matter. People had braces or
Yeah, that's what I love about it.
Carlos, imagine if we were still shooting this, Carlos. What if Lumpia wasn't finished? This is like 17 years ago. You know what? We need to go back and reshoot this scene right now. Let's do the shawarma scene. The shawarma scene, after credit scene. Let's go back and have an after credit scene right now. That'd be awesome. I think.
Yeah, me pounds heavier.
No, but we can write that in. It'll be a good coda to have, I guess, for the film.
I'm down if everybody else is down.
Hey, Carlos, see, you hear that? Carlos is down. We should do. You know what? I think we should. You know what? Before we show Lumpia 2, because obviously we haven't even talked about the transition from Carlos to the.
Right.
I feel that maybe I think Fast and Furious did this, right? They shot something or added something, or maybe Star Wars did, right?
Yes, they did.
To kind of lead into the new one.
Yes, they did, and it was sad.
Ooh,
yeah.
It was sad. It was sad. Oh no, it was sad.
Talk about aging. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
No, but it could be years later. I don't know. Well, Anyway, but that's like that. But that's see this is where ideas start, Sybil. See this is what happens when you put yourself in a think tank and these people they egg you on, they dare me to do it. It may happen. It may happen. All right. We got to wrap this up because Pangeekery is waiting. They've been wanting us to raid for a long time, so they're just hanging out over there.
Great. Thank you so much for answering my question.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, look, this is not the end, but the beginning. So we hope to find you guys up here, and when we're in Houston next, I know we're gonna reunite when we show this movie in Houston. So who else to say? Okay, we talked to everyone here, right? Matt, you're good. Matt, all right.
We had a question from Richie.
Oh, okay. Final questions.
Richie Alisto, he says, after Olympia 2 movie is done, will you ever try to do your 1s and 2s you had for that Steven Spielberg reality show years ago?
The 1s and 2s it was definitely a project I thought would be, as a filmmaker, I thought that would be my Sundance film, my first feature film, like the feature film that would get funded. Things didn't really work out that way. And so he's talking about this short film about the mobile DJ scene that we had shot. I did that, actually, I shot that after we shot Bebot in 2006, and we released it for that reality show on the lot for Steven Spielberg. So it was kind of like my submission for that show years ago. Like all project, that was something I developed, and then I realized, and this is something maybe artists can relate to, is that the mobile DJ scene, especially in the Bay Area, is such a huge community. It's like if anyone tackled that movie, it's like you got to do it justice. It felt like a very big responsibility to do a whole movie on that thing. And because if you had that one movie, no movie is ever going to encompass the entire story of what that scene meant for, especially Bay Area, California, the Filipino community.
Yeah.
So it is like most projects I've had developed, it is sitting on my shelf. It's definitely, maybe at some point I'll revisit that. Marie Jamora, who actually, just did the Q&A, she tackled that short film called Flip the Record. So she did a short film about the mobile DJ scene and did it. And honestly, there's a scene there that actually is ripped off from my scene, and she did it better. So I was like, no, maybe I can't even tackle it anymore, because there's literally a scene there, and I don't think Marie knows this, that it literally... And I'm sure she didn't rip it off. It was just something that obviously was kind of like, it's very similar to it. And look, it's not because she did it doesn't mean I can't do it. I mean, the whole point is we got to make more movies about that scene. So maybe I'll feel more comfortable tackling that 1s and 2s project if, number one, if the time is right, and number two, maybe someone else does it first. I don't know.
So definitely not a no.
That movie is still definitely... Look, I can reveal that the 1s and 2s was always based on Brian Lucas's life, DJ Swift Rock. And when he passed, I did a lot of the interviews I did with him that I re-edited for his tribute online were based out of interviews I had done with him in private, and I took those, and so I definitely have... And it was just him. I interviewed a lot of DJs at that time, and I was just trying to research and just trying to. So I had done a lot of work already, but I've never really, though I kind of have the treatment, I never tackled the feature. So, but again, revisiting is never. I'd love to revisit that, and I feel I'm more of a developed filmmaker now that I've kind of wrote Lumpia with a Vengeance and this other follow-up project I'm working on. So I don't know. You never know.
I'll keep it up there for you. I'll hold it over to you.
You're definitely getting news from me that I wasn't planning to reveal. So Richie, I'm so surprised that people still remember that for such a reality show I did years ago, because the Patricio back then wasn't really, I like to feel I'm more seasoned now that we kind of gone through Lumpia 2 together. So once you go through Lumpia with a Vengeance, you feel you can now tackle the world.
Yes, yes.
That's the feeling now. Like we feel like, we can do any movie. Let's do it just Let's just do a whole movie that just takes place in one house or something.
They're doing Venom. We'll take it.
Is that the other question? Sorry, that was a lot. I
have a shout out for.
I'm surprised.
Shout out from Matt Goldstein is saying what's up.
Oh, so, man. What's up? I love Matt. I love Matt. I have to call him back. I'm sorry, Matt. I have to call you back.
And just a lot of love from people that were earlier. They're just giving props to everybody else from the old crew and from our crew as well. Mary Bell, thank you. Saying hi. Abe is saying hi. It's a lot of love. Just giving that Lumpia love up to us. So thank you, folks. Thank you.
All right, so
Did
we're gonna
someone
wrap.
just have a baby? Can we say congratulations to a Lumpia crew member who had a baby? Who had a baby? Somebody?
None that I know of.
Dang it. Okay, never mind. I could have started as a crew member.
Oh no, JJ Cassis. What are you talking about? JJ just had a baby. Yeah, and Cherry. Yes.
Congratulations, JJ.
I mean, I wish Francis was here because I don't remember the name off the top of my head right now, but I should. But congratulations, JJ. That's why he couldn't join us for today. He played Big Bro in Lumpia. He was the one in the very beginning, the brother who got beat up and didn't protect.
And now he's entering the fatherhood club.
Yes.
Welcome to the club.
And I got God, give this thing here my where's Kaching? No, not Kaching.
Didn't Meriden have a baby too?
Oh yeah.
Am I bringing up? I should have typed it first.
And Meriden.
Meriden.
Oh, Meriden, yes, Meriden, who plays.
Who's also in our film.
Who plays a character I can't spoil.
Yes,
but
yes.
Congrats to her and Steven Angeles, the son of another cast member, Luella. Yeah. So, yes.
For the babies.
Wah, 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 wah.
There you go.
Same time next year, we'll have even more.
All right. We are wrapping up. Thank you, guys. We're not going to go through all the goodbyes, but definitely, when's the next Lumpia live webcast? Will be sometime in June. So definitely follow us on Twitch. And, of course, always follow us on Lumpia Movie on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We definitely have the sale right now going on. Stay safe. Just use that code. We only have a few of these face masks left. And this does benefit some portion of it will go back to the Parks Finest Feed the Frontliners.
Feed the Frontliners
project.
Yeah.
So do check that out. The code is still there. I won't turn it off on you guys. And that's it. I'm trying to go to this thing. I'm gonna raid. So I don't know if anyone want to say any final parting thoughts here while I kind of start raiding this other channel.
Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone for continuing to give the supporting the current, both the past movie and the current film. Thank you for believing, continuing to believe, and just believe it's worth the wait. What we have for you in the future is going to be worth the wait, and I stand by it. Our team stands by it. But we appreciate your support and love and your continuing interest in both the original film and our current one here. So thank you so much.
Nice.
Peace. Lumpia, folks.
Peace out, y'all. Thanks.
All right.
Lumpia Nights.
Hold on. Let me rate. I'm still rating this. So.
Bye-bye.
Hold on.
Bye-bye.
Hurry up, Pat.
Bye.
Lumpia Nights rollout.
Oh, this is definitely.
Wrap it up.
Whoever's still here, still hanging out with me. Let's see. I don't know.
Well, Pat.
Can you ask me something?
We're about to raid.
Yeah, I don't know how to raid this. I was hoping.
Folks,
usually Earl would tell me what to type on.
Pangeekery.
We're supposed to write raid. Okay, raid Pangeekery. I just need to get into my.
Raid Pangeekery, folks. Great entertainment.
All right, guys. So the next one.
Thanks,
Yes, Gerard.
Hey.
Bye.
Keep drawing. Keep drawing, artists.
Yes, sir. All right, Pat.
Ba-ba-ba. The button for you. Just point at me and I'll.
I was supposed to raid this while we had people. Now we're only going to raid with only 8 people.
We'll just tell everybody, come on, Pangeekery, Twitch.
Okay, hold on. Raid. Oh. It's taking too long. Come on, Wade.
Need energy.
This is what happens when my computer is so
energy low.
Lawrence, did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I always do. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy hearing people. I like hearing about everything.
How'd you think about the Q&A? There you go.
Bueno.
All right, there you
I
go.
tried. You know, it's kind of hard to follow, but
Wait, are we still on?
yeah, we're still on right now. We're still on right now. We're still live. We're still live. So there you go. 7 viewers, or I gave them 7 viewers. So
there we go.
there's definitely not the peak moment. So sorry, Pangeekery. So I definitely want to thank Pangeekery for being a community sponsor. Thank you for Filipinx, Artists of Houston. Thank you, Visual Communications in the Los Angeles Asian Pacific Film Festival for hosting the first Lumpia movie as well as the Q&A. Of course, to Marie Jamora and Cinema Sala. Whoa, yes. Now we can log off. We've rated them. We're good. We'll see you next month. We definitely have another script reading. We're not going to reveal what it is, but we're going to definitely have another script reading. Lisa's going to be here. Lawrence is going to be here. Al will be here.
Yes.
You're going to spend summer with us because it's going to be definitely the summer of Lumpia. So thank you guys, everyone. I am tired. Thank you all. Let me end this meeting right now. Let me end this. I'm trying to reach the end screen. And let me give you one last air horn before we leave here. I can't reach it. And here we go. And thank you.